Mukherji College welcomes you all. Today, we are going to organize our national webinar on National Education Policy 2020, Transforming Education for the 21st Century. I would like to request Deepa ma'am to introduce our webinar theme. Deepa ma'am.
I take this proud privilege to welcome everyone on behalf of the Department of Education, Shyama Prasad Mukherji College. I welcome all my esteemed guests, my panelists, my faculty members who have joined us from all over India, my students who are very, very dear, and it's being organized for you specially. So I hope you make the best of this webinar. And I take this opportunity also to thank our principal ma'am, Dr. Sadhna Sharma, who's been very encouraging and supportive of our efforts to organize this event. The theme of our presentation today and webinar is Transforming Education, the National Educational Policy. And what we have seen in the past is that we used to have the National Curriculum Framework, and with the NEP, it has been a very, very paradigm shift. What has changed in this new educational policy is that there is a lot of scope for educational reforms and preparing students for facing the challenges of the 21st century. We as Indians and take pride in our culture, in our tradition, and that's what this NEP actually gives us, a scope to take our culture the world over, and with a globalized look. So I think the NFP has so many powerful terminology, powerful document, and it's such a wide and diverse document that you can actually implement it at so many levels. And it's changed the structure, whether we say the school education, the higher education, but focusing on a lot on making the child, the learner, very, very independent, collaborative, and being able to move around and empower themselves. It's a document which empowers the learners themselves rather than focusing on the context. So I think it's been a really, really paradigm shift with inclusive education, with equability, with equality, but it's about to see how these will all transform in the implementation stage, because we are just beginning. So I think, and the Department of Education, we run these two popular courses called the B.Ed and BLEd, where we prepare teachers for the future. So I think this is the right time for them to engage with the National Educational Policy, understand its nuances, and be able to work it along, because they are the one who are going to prepare our students for the future. Now I actually invite Dr. Veena Kapoor, our senior most faculty member, who has actually been a mentor and has created this department with Dr. Suman Kalia and Dr. Ghosh. She's been such a powerful educationist who's worked in this field for over such a long period of time that her specialization, although being language education, but she has diversified her fields as well. She has published with so many international journals, books, and has a lot of research papers to her credit, apart from doing a lot of faculty development program. And in the department, or I would say in the college, she heads the IQAC, which is such an important organization nowadays. So I think with her vast experience, she can express a few thoughts on the NEP and take it forward. We can then take it forward. Thank you, Veena ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Idnani, for your glowing praise. I don't know if I deserve it, but thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our esteemed guests and our students and all the other participants. I'd like to give a brief introduction. India has a rich educational history which can be traced back to Nalanda and Takshashila, and a long tradition of holistic and multidisciplinary learning. Knowledge of science and skill-based learning have also been an integral part of our education since the ancient times. And the communication, discussion, and debate were the soft skills that the students in ancient times used to imbibe learning and understanding. These are the very skills that we require today in the 21st century. The new educational policy 2020 is a path-breaking manifesto that has re-envisioned reimagined and refashioned the Indian education system, procedure, and its processes. It aims to align education to the needs of the young citizen of our country. The NEP presents an educational policy that looks forward while remaining strongly rooted in the rich traditions of Indian culture and Indian culture and traditions. Education is an important tool for empowerment, and NEP strongly advocates an equitable, inclusive education for all, from a school-going child to those who are seeking higher education. Preparing students for the 21st century requires integration of essential subjects with skills and capacities. In this context, NEP envisions an educational system that prepares students to be citizens for today's rapidly changing world through imbibing scientific temper, evidence-based thinking, digital literacy, coupled with a sense of aesthetics. According to NEP, content and pedagogical strategies need to be refashioned with these objectives in mind. Any new education policy hopes to build a quality universities and colleges, and in this regard, it presents a new vision of higher education and a higher education system that prepares students for more meaningful and satisfying life and work roles while ensuring economic independence. Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. This initiative in NEP will foster in the students understanding of the remarkable unity of major Indian languages. According to NEP, language education will not merely be confined to learning language through the three language formula, but also to develop an understanding, appreciation of the diversity of Indian languages and literature. Translation will be made easily available so that our students are able to appreciate it and able to engage with it. Easy access to translations of works in Indian languages will enable students from their school-going years to develop a sense of the unity and diversity of Indian culture and its languages and literature. Today, in this webinar, we are all going to meet and hear very important erudite scholars and practitioners who will help us analyze and understand the new education policy. And I now would like to hand over the mic to Dr. Adnani, who will carry the program forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kapoor. It was really wonderful to hear you talk about the national educational policy, because it's given us a really holistic look of the vision of the NEP. Now I request our first panelist, three panelists. We'll be inviting Dr. Pankaj, then Dr. Saroj, and Dr. Amrut. Before that, I request Charu ma'am to give the introduction. I just want to tell all of you that we are live on YouTube and Facebook, and you can, it's all, the links are in the chat window. And if you want your friends to log in, you can ask them to log in there. Now I request Hemlata ma'am to pin Charu ma'am, because it could be on the whole screen then.
Yes, ma'am.
Hemlata ma'am, if you could do
Yes,
that.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Hemlata
Okay,
ma'am.
okay.
Thank you. I sincerely thank the organizing team for giving me this honor to introduce our speakers for session 1. So I would like to introduce the speakers of our technical session 1 for the day. So first of all, I would like to invite Professor Pankaj Arora. Professor Pankaj Arora is currently the director of Institute of Lifelong Learning, and he is also a professor at Department of Education, University of Delhi. Professor Arora is a member of the editorial board in Journal of Education and Human Development, American Research Institute for Policy Development in USA. He is a referee of educational journal Mary, Journal of Education, New Delhi, and he is also a member of Board of Studies in GUSEO, Noida. He is a member of Managing Committee, Bhavan's Leelavati Munshi College of Education, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, New Delhi. Professor Arora has written a book titled Sex Education in Schools, published in Hindi by Prabhat Prakashan in 2005, which was also published in Hindi, in Gujarati language as well as in English language. He has worked on various projects like Democratic Classrooms, Needs, Significance and Implications for Social Science project, which was funded from UGC, Profiling the Need of Sex and Safety Education for Adolescents, A Special Case of Working Children, Pedagogy of Political Science, and so on. Professor Arora has launched an interactive website for sharing professional ideas and experiences among the political science teachers or pre-service and in-service teachers. He has also launched an interactive site for sharing of professional ideas and experiences among the adolescence education teachers. Uh, Next, I would like to invite Professor Saroj Yadav. It's a great honor for our department that Professor Saroj Yadav has agreed to guide us, and she will be sharing her ideas on national educational policy. So it's a privilege for our department that she is the part of the panel. Professor Saroj Yadav is the national coordinator of a national population education project implemented in 32 states and union territories, and she is currently the Dean of Academics at NCRT. She is also a coordinator of adolescence education program funded by United Nations Population Fund in national agencies. She has worked as a member of subgroups on adolescence set up by Planning Commission in the 12th five-year plan and of National Task Force in India, South Cooperation Partner in Development. She has also contributed several publications of national and international relevance. For instance, training and resource materials, advocacy materials in adolescence education programs, source materials on population education, and several news bulletins in population education development. She has also been part of developing the syllabi and other materials in health and physical education programs at NCRT. So thank you, ma'am, for joining us today. Next, I would like to invite our third speaker of session one, Professor Amrut G. Kumar, and it's also a great pleasure for our department that Professor Kumar has agreed to join us for the day. Professor Kumar is currently the head in Department of Education at Kerala University. He is the project head of Pandit Madan Manmohan Molvia National Mission on Teachers and Teacher Training of School Education at Central University of Kerala, which is a prestigious project of Ministry of Human Development in Government of India. The project is mainly intended to empower teachers working at various levels. He is a research awardee of UGC in New Delhi. He was awarded with Certificate of Merit for teaching based on student assessment for 5 times in consecutive years, where he was an assistant professor in Pondicherry Central University. Professor Kumar has published 4 books and several research papers in national and international journals. Professor Kumar's scholarly interests include critical theory in education, neoliberal policies in education, and policy analysis in education. He critically probes to the influences of neoliberal forces in shaping the psyche of stakeholders of education, exploring the ramifications of neoliberal economy. Professor Kumar attempts to build up a broad framework for pedagogical interference to empower the teachers and students. He prefers to combine quantitative and qualitative approaches in his research. He draws a lot from poetry, literature, and philosophy in his teaching and research. So here are the 3 speakers for the day, and it was my privilege to introduce them. So I would now like to request the organizing team, Dr. Deepa Idnani and Ms. Hemlata, to take it forward. Thank you, sir.
Now I invite Professor Pankaj Arora to express his views on the NEP. He will be speaking on higher education as one of the aspects of national educational policy.
Thank you very much, Dr. Deepa. Shyama Prasad Mukherji College is like a home field because this is very much part of Faculty of Education, and I'm associated with SPM for a long time now. Dr. Sadhana Sharma, Principal, Dr. Veena Kapoor, Ms. Hemlata, Ms. Charu, all these are young colleagues, as well as some time back they were scholars in Department of Education. So it's really nice to be amongst you today. My co-panelist, Professor Saroj Yadav, Professor Amrut, I'm sure will be speaking on other aspects of policy because I have been given mandate to speak on higher education. As during the introduction, Dr. Deepa has already mentioned, this policy is a paradigm shift in multiple meanings. Like this, we all know and understand that policy has been brought after a long gap of 34 years. And for any policy, for that reason, 34 years is a long period. Policy must be reviewed and updated, to my understanding, every 15 to 20 years at the max, because this technology has made our lives so fast, so small, like we all are knowing all practices across the world now. So in that context, I'm saying so small. So we need to keep updating ourselves as and when get opportunity. This policy is first policy of 21st century for Indian education system. 21st century, which is known as century for robotic science and artificial intelligence. In the beginning of 2020, Dr. Kalam tried to give Vision 2020 for the nation, for the young people to work on. And this policy is complementing to Dr. Kalam's Vision 2020. And very rightly said by Ms. Hemlata that this policy has multiple scope to give strength to Indianness in Indian education system, along with maintaining the modernity phase of Indian education system. So this policy is new in multiple ways. Like first, I would like to say this policy is a big threat and a challenge to Macaulayan Chakravyuh, which was introduced in 1833 by Lord Macaulay with the introduction of English education in India. So this policy I see as a challenge to Macaulayan Chakravyuh, which has not been conquered till date, but this policy gave a lot of scope and opportunity, not only to challenge it, but to conquer it. So now we can see path for Indianness in Indian education, which is very, very important, significant. This significance of policy can be understood by 3-4 major themes, which I'll be explaining during my presentation. Like first is, I will be focusing only on higher education. So in higher education, first important feature is no hard separations. I'll explain it. Number 2 is multidisciplinarity and holistic education. Number 3 is this policy gives emphasis on ethics and human and constitutional values, which is again very, very important for the largest democracy of the world. To give emphasis to not only to human values, but also to constitutional values, because our Indian constitutional values are holistic, comprehensive, and policy is promoting multi-language culture and is giving significance to mother tongue at elementary stage, school stage. Extensive use of technology is another scope which is there in the policy. And a special independent body for promoting research. So this policy is giving emphasis on these 5-7 things which I have just mentioned. Now I'll be just giving a brief explanation to few of them because 15 to 20 minutes have been assigned to each one of the speakers, and I think that is justified. Like first, I am saying this policy is challenging and threatening to Macaulayan Chakravyuh. अब possibility है कि जो multidisciplinary ethos will be promoted and multidisciplinary ethos will be challenged. Indian languages will be promoted. When we say multidisciplinary ethos, it means each institution will be multidisciplinary institution. It will not be a single discipline oriented institution. फायदा क्या होगा इससे? नंबर 1, मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी जब हम कहते हैं तो इंस्टीट्यूशन के कल्चर में उस एकेडमिक प्लुरैलिटी का स्कोप बन जाता है जो हमारी इंडियन सोसाइटी की स्ट्रेंथ है, हमारी इंडियन सोसाइटी की पहचान है कि हमारा कल्चर जब प्लूरिस्टिक है, डाइवर्सिटी से भरा हुआ है, तो हमारे एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस में भी एकेडमिक मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरिटी आने से स्कोप बनेगा कि पीपल विल बी नोइंग अबाउट not only other disciplines, interdisciplines, intradiscipline, but also will be understanding strength and relating their discipline with the others. तो एक इसका ये एडवांटेज जो एक होलिस्टिक एजुकेशन का कॉन्सेप्ट देता है. दूसरा, इस मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरिटी के आने से देयर वुड बी अ लार्ज स्कोप मेक योर चॉइसेस टू एक्सरसाइज योर चॉइसेस। जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि पॉलिसी बिलीव करती है कि देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी हार्ड सेपरेशन अमंग एकेडमिक डिसिप्लिन्स। दिस इज साइंस स्ट्रीम, ओनली PCM, PCB will exist. This is humanities group, so nobody can opt physics or computer science or biology for that reason. This is commerce and management, so no hard separation would be existing there, बल्कि स्टूडेंट को फ्रीडम होगा कि वो अपने डिसिप्लिन, अपने इंटरेस्ट को नर्चर कर सके हायर एजुकेशन लेवल पे, अपनी चॉइस से अपने कोर्सेज को डिसाइड कर सके। होलिस्टिक एजुकेशन आने से हमें से, क्योंकि एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट का इवेंट है, तो हम एजुकेशन के लोग जानते हैं कि जो स्टैंड अलोन इंस्टीट्यूशंस ऑफ बीएड हैं, उनमें कितनी तरह के क्राइसिस इस टाइम आ चुके हैं। वो क्राइसिस ना सिर्फ एकेडमिक हैं, ना सिर्फ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव हैं, बल्कि उनकी आइडेंटिटी का भी क्राइसिस खड़ा हो गया है, क्योंकि उन बीएड कॉलेजेस को एग्जिस्ट करना ओनली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ 1 or 2 प्रोग्राम्स, वहाँ फैकल्टी को एंगेज करना बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज बन चुका है। कि मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी इंस्टीट्यूशन होगा तो शायद ऑप्टिमम यूज ऑफ रिसोर्सेज इंक्लूडिंग ह्यूमन रिसोर्स एज वेल एज other resources like library, lab, playground would be possible. तो वो एग्जिस्टेंस के साथ जब एक लार्ज पॉपुलेशन ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स वहाँ एग्जिस्ट करेगा, तो उससे काफी पॉसिबिलिटी है कि रिसोर्सेज का ऑप्टिमम यूज ना पॉसिबल हो पाएगा। पॉलिसी का एक पहचान है कि पॉलिसी इज इंट्रोड्यूसिंग 4 years ऑफ ग्रेजुएशन, 4 years ऑफ ग्रेजुएशन विद ए कंपोनेंट ऑफ रिसर्च, with a component of specialization in 4th year। क्योंकि मुझे बताया गया है कि काफी स्टूडेंट्स ग्रुप इसमें ज्वाइन किया हुआ है, तो इसको मैं थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करना चाहूंगा। This 4-year graduation is not only increasing term of graduation by 1 year, but also strengthening each year with a specific identification of learners efforts। बहुत सारी हम लोग ने एजुकेशन के स्टूडेंट्स होने के नाते वेस्टेज और स्टैग्नेशन को डिस्कस करते हैं, पढ़ते हैं एलिमेंट्री स्टेज पे, प्राइमरी स्टेज पे। हमने शायद बहुत कम लोग हम में से जानते हैं कि हायर एजुकेशन भी वेस्टेज और स्टैग्नेशन बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में है। मैं सिर्फ दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी का एग्जाम्पल आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहता हूँ। यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली में फर्स्ट ईयर में एंट्री लेने वाले जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं और उनमें से जो 3rd ईयर पास आउट करने वाले हैं, बीच में अराउंड 25% स्टूडेंट्स छोड़ जाता है, अपनी ग्रेजुएशन कंप्लीट नहीं कर पाता, पहले ही छोड़ जाता है, या फर्स्ट ईयर के बाद, या 2nd ईयर के बाद, या 3rd ईयर के बीच में। अब ये छोड़ने के रीजन बहुत सारे हो सकते हैं, पर्सनल हैं, एम्प्लॉयमेंट है, इकोनॉमिक रीजंस हैं, गर्ल्स के केसेस में शादी हो जाना और दूसरे टाउन में चले जाना भी एक रीजन बनता है। तो ऐसी सिचुएशन में जो यंग बच्चों ने अपना एफर्ट, अपनी लाइफ का 1 साल, 1.5 साल, 2 साल अपनी ग्रेजुएशन में दिया था, कॉलेज ने जो उनके ऊपर रिसोर्सेस यूज किए थे, उनको एक्नॉलेज करने के लिए पॉलिसी सजेस्ट करती है दैट ईच स्टूडेंट वुड बी गिवन सम और अदर रिकॉग्निशन। कैसे? अगर कोई स्टूडेंट फर्स्ट ईयर की ग्रेजुएशन के बाद अपनी पढ़ाई छोड़ देता है, तो उसका जो फर्स्ट ईयर के क्रेडिट्स हैं, उनके बेसिस पे उसको एक सर्टिफिकेट इशू किया जाएगा, उसने सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स कंप्लीट किया है सक्सेसफुली। अगर वो 2 साल कंप्लीट करके अपनी पढ़ाई छोड़ता है, तो उसे डिप्लोमा अवार्ड किया जाएगा। तो ये अनक्रेडिटेड नहीं होगा, ये उसका एफर्ट जाया नहीं जाएगा। अगर वो 3 साल कंप्लीट करता है तो बैचलर्स डिग्री उसको दी जाएगी, और 4 साल कंप्लीट करने पे, जैसे मैंने पहले कहा, एक स्पेशलाइजेशन ऑनर्स की डिग्री विद एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ रिसर्च वुड अवॉर्डेड टू द स्टूडेंट। तो ये 4 साल के प्रोग्राम में 4 तरह का आइडेंटिफिकेशन, रिकॉग्निशन है स्टूडेंट्स के एफर्ट्स का। अब मान लीजिए फर्स्ट ईयर में किसी बच्चे ने 100 क्रेडिट का ग्रेजुएशन है 4 साल का, आई एम जस्ट साइटिंग एन एग्जाम्पल, और उस स्टूडेंट ने 25 क्रेडिट फर्स्ट ईयर के कंप्लीट किए और छोड़ दिया। लेकिन 1-2 साल के बाद उसको ऐसा लगता है कि वो वापस आना चाहता है, अपनी ग्रेजुएशन कंप्लीट करना चाहता है, क्योंकि उसकी फैमिली में जो क्राइसिस था, जो एक इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन क्रिएट हो गई थी या फाइनेंशियल सिचुएशन उसको अलाउ नहीं कर रही थी, तो वो अब कंपैरेटिवली स्टेबल है और वो स्टूडेंट वापस ज्वाइन करना चाहता है। तो पॉलिसी एक बड़ा सुंदर प्रोविजन बैंक ऑफ क्रेडिट्स डिजी लॉकर के थ्रू प्रेजेंट करती है, जिसमें जितने क्रेडिट स्टूडेंट ने अर्न किए हैं, क्वालिफाई किए हैं, वो उसके खाते में जुड़ते चले जाएंगे। और जब भी स्टूडेंट वापस रिज्यूम करना चाहेगा अपनी एजुकेशन, तो उसको स्क्रैच से, जीरो से स्टार्ट नहीं करना, बल्कि जो क्रेडिट उसके अकाउंट में ऑलरेडी डिपॉजिट हैं वहां से आगे बढ़ना है। अगर स्टूडेंट ने फर्स्ट ईयर के बाद छोड़ा था, 25 क्रेडिट क्वालिफाई किया था, तो वो जब वापस ज्वाइन करता है, चाहे 2 साल बाद या 3 साल बाद, तो उसको 25 क्रेडिट से आगे जाना है। तो वो जीरो से स्टार्ट नहीं करेगा, अपने क्रेडिट जो उसने अर्न कर लिए हैं वो उसी के पास डिजी लॉकर में। तो ये एक जैसे मैंने वर्ड यूज किया, बड़ा खूबसूरत प्रोविजन है पॉलिसी के अंदर, जो ना सिर्फ मल्टीपल एग्जिट अलाउ करता है बल्कि मल्टीपल एंट्री लेवल्स भी स्टूडेंट्स को अलाउ करता है। तो ये मल्टीपल एंट्री एंड मल्टीपल एग्जिट का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, ये इस पॉलिसी का एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट है जो कुछ वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज की एजुकेशन, हायर एजुकेशन में एग्जिस्ट करता था। इंडिया में हम चाहते तो थे, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली इसको अभी तक हम ला नहीं पाए थे, तो ये प्रोविजन वहां पे आया। एक प्रोविजन पॉलिसी ने सजेस्ट किया ऑटोनॉमी का। ऑटोनॉमी किसके लिए? ऑटोनॉमी टू स्टूडेंट्स, ऑटोनॉमी टू टीचर्स, ऑटोनॉमी टू इंस्टीट्यूशंस। तीनों को ऑटोनॉमी देता है। कैसे देता है? ऑटोनॉमी टू स्टूडेंट्स, जैसे मेंशन किया मैंने कि मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी इंस्टीट्यूशंस होलिस्टिक एजुकेशन के एजेंडा के साथ आगे आएंगे बाय 2029-30। अब जब स्टूडेंट्स के पास मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी इंस्टीट्यूशंस में एंट्री लेने की पॉसिबिलिटी है, तो उसका तभी फायदा है जब हार्ड सेपरेशंस टूटेंगे। तो स्टूडेंट अपनी चॉइस से फिजिक्स के साथ म्यूजिक कंटिन्यू करना चाहता है, हिंदी लिटरेचर पढ़ना चाहता है, फिजिक्स के साथ पॉलिटिकल साइंस जैसे सब्जेक्ट में या हिस्ट्री जैसे सब्जेक्ट में उसका इंटरेस्ट है, तो पॉलिसी अलाउ करती है कि स्टूडेंट कैन कंटिन्यू विद एनी ऑफ द ऑप्शंस ऑफ हिज और हर इंटरेस्ट एंड हिज और हर चॉइस। इसको मैं इस तरह से भी कहना चाहता हूं कि अगर मुझे अपनी एजुकेशन का एक गुलदस्ता तैयार करना है, तो उस गुलदस्ते के लिए कौन से फूल मैं चुनूंगा, ये मेरा अधिकार होना चाहिए। वो विषय कौन होंगे जिससे जो इस गुलदस्ते की खूबसूरती बढ़ाएंगे, जो मुझे नर्चर करेंगे, मेरे इंटरेस्ट एरिया को डीप समझने में मदद करेंगे, ये अधिकार मेरा होना चाहिए। तो पॉलिसी स्टूडेंट्स को ये अधिकार देती है कि आप अपने डिसिप्लिन्स का, अपने सब्जेक्ट्स का across those hard streams you can opt. You can opt physics with political science, you can opt mathematics with Hindi literature, anything. तो ये एक, क्योंकि मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, वहाँ टीचिंग अरेंजमेंट्स हैं, तो ये एक खूबसूरत एस्पेक्ट स्टूडेंट फेवर में जाता है। टीचर्स के फेवर में कैसे जाएगा? हम जानते हैं बहुत सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज में, अब तो इंडिया में भी ऐसा हो गया है कि यूनिवर्सिटीज टीचर करती हैं कि वो अपने रिसर्च एरिया को, अपने स्पेशलाइजेशन को पेपर बना के इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकें और वहाँ स्टूडेंट्स के साथ पढ़ाते हुए, रिसर्च करते हुए उसको डेवलप करें, नर्चर करें। तो ये पॉसिबिलिटी पॉलिसी देती है कि एनी टीचर हैज ऑटोनॉमी टू इंट्रोड्यूस न्यू पेपर्स, न्यू स्पेशलाइजेशंस, न्यू माइक्रो लेवल डिसिप्लिन्स व्हिच आर स्ट्रगलिंग टू गेट स्पेस इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ एकेडेमिया। सीआई में मैंने एडोलेसेंस एजुकेशन का एक कोर्स इंट्रोड्यूस किया, प्रोफेसर सरोज यादव विटनेस हैं इसकी, बहुत हेल्प की इन्होंने हमारी। तो वो एडोलेसेंस एजुकेशन का कोर्स इंट्रोड्यूस करने में सीआई ने वो ऑटोनॉमी दी कि यू कैन डेवलप योर इंटरेस्ट एरिया इनटू अ ऑप्शनल पेपर एंड इंट्रोड्यूस इट, एंड थ्रू इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ दैट पेपर इन प्री सर्विस टीचर एजुकेशन आई सक्सीडेड इन not only developing this area but also to promote research in this area. अब ये autonomy टीचर्स को across institutions मिलेगी कि वो अपने स्पेशलाइजेशंस को छोटे पेपर्स के तौर पे, इलेक्टिव पेपर्स के तौर पे, ऑप्शनल पेपर्स के तौर पे इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकेंगे। और तीसरी autonomy है इंस्टीट्यूशनल लेवल पे। इंस्टीट्यूशनल लेवल की autonomy के अंदर कई चीजें हैं, कुछ डाउट्स भी हैं, कुछ एप्रीहेंशंस भी हैं। एप्रीहेंशंस की बात भी मैं बताऊंगा, डाउट भी हैं। जैसे एक ऑटोनॉमी को जब हम सुनते हैं तो एक कॉमन अंडरस्टैंडिंग बन गई है कि शायद इसमें फाइनेंशियल एटॉनमी है। फाइनेंशियल एटॉनमी एक पार्ट है, एकेडमिक एटॉनमी एक दूसरा पार्ट है, करिकुलम और एग्जामिनेशन की एटॉनमी एक तीसरा पार्ट है। तो अगर एजुकेशनल, जैसे हम सब जानते हैं, अमृति यहाँ हमारे साथ हैं, ही इज एक्सपर्ट ऑन हायर एजुकेशन एटॉनमी एंड ही इज क्रिटिक ऑफ दिस प्राइवेटाइजेशन ऑफ हायर एजुकेशन, विच आई एग्री विद हिम। पॉलिसी कहती है कि ये जो एजुकेशनल एटॉनमी, हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस की एटॉनमी है, हम हायर एजुकेशन के सब लोग जानते हैं कि यूनिवर्सिटी सिस्टम ऑटोनॉमस है, यूनिवर्सिटीज ऑटोनॉमस होती हैं, ये ना सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के अंडर आती है ना स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के अंडर आती हैं। पार्लियामेंट या विधानसभा एक एक्ट बना के यूनिवर्सिटीज को स्टैब्लिश करता है और हर यूनिवर्सिटी का अपना ऑर्डिनेंस होता है, उस ऑर्डिनेंस के आधार पर यूनिवर्सिटी फंक्शन करती है और उसकी एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल या एकेडमिक काउंसिल उसकी सुप्रीम बॉडीज हैं जो उसको आगे बढ़ने का रास्ता दिखाती हैं। यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली का एग्जांपल दें तो यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ 1922 में जब इस्टेब्लिश हुई थी तो 3 कॉलेजेस को जोड़कर इस्टेब्लिश की गई थी, हिंदू कॉलेज, सेंट स्टीफेंस कॉलेज एंड रामजस कॉलेज। ये 3 कॉलेज 1922 में जोड़ा गया था और यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली के अंडर इन कॉलेजेस के साथ शुरुआत की गई थी। तीनों कॉलेजेस गवर्नमेंट रन कॉलेजेस नहीं थे, तीनों ही कॉलेजेस ट्रस्ट रन कॉलेजेस थे, जैसे एसपीएम कॉलेज ट्रस्ट रन कॉलेज है, ये गवर्नमेंट से फंडिंग नहीं लेता बल्कि एटॉनमी है इसके पास, ये सीधा यूजीसी से एफिलिएट करके फंडिंग लेते हैं। और तो ये 3 ऑटोनॉमस कॉलेजेस के साथ यूनिवर्सिटी की शुरुआत हुई। अब इसमें जो एक कल्चर कई यूनिवर्सिटीज में है, लकीली दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में नहीं है, कि कॉलेज का एफिलिएशन दिया जाता है। तो कॉलेजेस की एटॉनमी मिलने से कॉलेजेस को अपने करिकुलम बनाने की, अपने एग्जामिनेशन करने की और अपनी डिग्री अवार्ड करने की एटॉनमी मिल जाएगी। उसका फायदा जो मैं देखता हूँ वो ये देखता हूँ कि जो कल्चर और एफिलिएशन है, जिसको मैं बड़े सख्त शब्दों में लाइसेंस राज और करप्शन का एक सिनोनियम मानता हूँ, इससे हमें छुटकारा मिलने की पॉसिबिलिटी है। आप देख साउथ की कुछ यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, 800, 850, 900 कॉलेजेस एफिलेटेड हैं। 800, 850, 900 कॉलेजेस का मैनेजमेंट आप समझते हैं क्या है? पूरी यूनिवर्सिटी की एनर्जी उन कॉलेजेस के लिए एग्जाम्स करवाने में, उन कॉलेजेस के लिए एडमिशन्स करवाने में, उन कॉलेजेस के लिए करिकुलम अपग्रेड करने में ही लग जाती है, उन कॉलेजेस का एफिलिएशन देने में, उन कॉलेजेस में इंस्पेक्शन करने में। और इसमें कहाँ पे करप्शन अपनी जगह बना लेता है उसको मेंशन करने की यहाँ जरूरत नहीं है। तो अगर एटॉनमी, कॉलेजेस क्या महसूस करते हैं कि उनकी कोई अकाउंटेबिलिटी नहीं है, एग्जाम्स नहीं हो गए यूनिवर्सिटी जिम्मेवार है, रिजल्ट क्लियर नहीं हो गए यूनिवर्सिटी जिम्मेवार है, करिकुलम अपडेट नहीं हुआ यूनिवर्सिटी जिम्मेवार। उन्हें कंफर्ट है कि इन सब के लिए यूनिवर्सिटी जिम्मेवार है, और जब उन्हें डिग्री देनी है तो स्टूडेंट्स उनके पास इसलिए नहीं आते क्योंकि वो कॉलेज बहुत क्वालिटी कॉलेज है, बल्कि इसलिए आते हैं क्योंकि वो एक क्वालिटी यूनिवर्सिटी का हिस्सा है, क्योंकि वो एक क्वालिटी यूनिवर्सिटी से एफिलिएटेड है। तो एफिलिएशन का ये मिसयूज है। अब कॉलेजेस की अकाउंटेबिलिटी सीधी बनेगी कि उनकी डिग्री कम्युनिटी में कितनी एक्सेप्टेड है, और कम्युनिटी जब डिग्री को एक्सेप्टेंस देता है तो ये देखकर देता है कि उस डिग्री से क्या सीखा जाएगा, उस सीखे हुए काम को मार्केट, जॉब मार्केट कितना एक्नॉलेज करती है, करिकुलम कितने अपडेटेड हैं, फैकल्टी कितनी क्वालिटी है, लाइब्रेरी कैसी है, लैब कैसे हैं, प्लेग्राउंड कैसे हैं, एटसेट्रा। तो जैसे आप एग्री होंगे कि एनसीआर में, दिल्ली एनसीआर में कम से कम 25 यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटीज। सब यूनिवर्सिटीज इक्वली गुड नहीं कर रही, प्लीज माइंड इट। आप देखेंगे 2, 3, 4 यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं जहां अच्छा, जिनके बारे में अच्छा एक ओपिनियन है, बाकी यूनिवर्सिटीज के बारे में स्टूडेंट्स के लिए पब्लिसिटी करना, मार्केटिंग करना, अलग अलग तरह की स्कीम्स अनाउंस करना उनका मजबूरी है क्योंकि वहाँ स्टूडेंट्स नहीं आता। और जो यूनिवर्सिटीज में स्टूडेंट क्या है, वहाँ करिकुलम, वहाँ की फैकल्टी, वहाँ रिसर्च फैसिलिटीज, उसकी वजह से स्टूडेंट आता है। तो जब एफिलिएटेड ऑटोनॉमस इंस्टीट्यूशंस का कल्चर आएगा तो कॉलेजेस would compelled to upgrade themselves in terms of faculty, curriculum, examination, etc. because they will be awarding their own degree. ये एक तीसरा एस्पेक्ट है एटॉनमी का जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस के कंसर्न में है। पॉलिसी कहती है कि कहीं भी प्राइवेटाइजेशन की तरफ नहीं है, फंडिंग कम नहीं की जाएगी, बल्कि पब्लिक फंडिंग के लिए हायर एजुकेशन में पॉलिसी में एक अलग हायर एजुकेशन रेगुलेटरी कमीशन के अंडर एक बॉडी बनाया है, तो फंडिंग काम करेगी सभी हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन। तो ऐसे में ऑटोनॉमी को भी मैं पॉजिटिव साइड से देखना चाहता हूँ। तो ये 3 पॉइंट थे जिनके ऊपर मैं डिटेलिंग देना चाहता था, क्योंकि टाइम की एक मर्यादा है और हायर एजुकेशन मेरा लिमिटेशन था। तो अगर कुछ क्वेश्चंस आएंगे उनके थ्रू और बात आगे बढ़ाना चाहेंगे, आई वुड वेरी हैप्पी टू आंसर। अभी मैं अपनी बात को यहीं रोकता हूँ इन 3-4 पॉइंट की डिटेलिंग देकर। तो चीफ फीचर्स ऑफ हायर एजुकेशन अंडर नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी मुझे समझ में आती है। Over to organizers for further deliberation, and I am available for open session towards the end of this day 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaj sir. It was really enlightening to hear so many things, and beginning with the history of the University of Delhi, which I think would be very good for students to know, because they may not know all these things, that how the university began and how academic and institutional autonomy is so important nowadays. Because yes, you rightly pointed out, we need to prepare students to face the global challenges, because there are a lot of things which were in prevalence in the universities abroad, and we've brought it to India. And I think that's a really, really good educational reforms, and it will help, I think, India to face the challenges of the 21st century. Thank you so much for your enlightening thoughts, sir. Now I invite Dr. Professor Saroj Yadav to express her thoughts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Deepa, and good afternoon. It is already 12. So I really thank Dr. Sadhna Sharma, Principal, particularly Dr. Deepa, for giving this opportunity. I really thank Professor Arora, because he's already, I think I have to, and we have good participants here. Because Delhi University and particularly your college is very, very important college. And it's a very old college also, so you have good students. And you can say, I'll discuss about the school education, because it's good that you have given us different topics. Otherwise, there could be a lot of overlapping. So school education is very important, and it's a foundation of everything. We all know that if school education is good, then definitely even the university higher education will also be very good. So first and foremost, this policy is transforming the whole education system, and they are focusing on a vibrant knowledge society. That the society should be vibrant, not there should be only fixed knowledge, no growth. And that's why they are focusing that the child should have the, you can say, the independent interest, and they can choose things of their interest. So first and foremost is that they are focusing on some pillars like access. First and foremost is access, because irrespective of the fact that we have Right to Education Act, and even then we have a lot of dropout in the school system. By the time they reach to class even 5 and 8, still there's a lot of dropout. So first is access, that each and every child should be in the school system. And access doesn't mean that only just come to the school. So the overall, you can say, the policy 2020, even other policies also, even earlier 1986 policy or 1968 policy, they all focused on quality. But still we are not able to reach to that quality. That is very, very important. The second is equity is very important. And we know that in our country, it's the children and the students are not homogeneous. They are heterogeneous. They are from rural, they are from urban, they are from, you can say, boys and girls. There are some mature, some are not. So there are some, you can say, children with different abilities. So all equity and equality is very, very important. Sometimes we give equal opportunity, but still in our, you can say, feelings, in our, you can say, thought, there is equality is there, but equity, somehow, jisko hum kehte hain, that is not existing. And thirdly, affordability. You know, they have called it that there should be public and private sector both. And public sector means the public school, the government school. But the private school should also be having philanthropic approach, not for profit making. So that is also one of the pillar of this policy, that they do not focus on that those private organizations, they earn just money, and for they should go for commercialization. Rather, they should have that approach, so that should be in the interest of the public, means social approach. That is very, very important, that policy is focusing. accountability. Everyone will be accountable. Even teacher will be accountable. Even authority will be accountable. Even the system will be accountable. Even parents will be accountable. So this accountability is also one of the focus of this policy, which is very important. And therefore, the policy, the fundamental principle policy focused on holistic development. It is not only your physical development. It is not only your intellectual development. It is holistic, means your social development. Because I am also working in the area, worked in the area of the school health program, and you people might be knowing that these days the Ayushman Bharat program, which is a flagship program of the government of India, now we have harmonized all the programs together. So the program says that all we have identified 11 themes in this program, and adolescence education is one of the program which were earlier we were implementing. Now it is a part of this program. So the focus is on holistic development. You have seen that children are physically very fit, but mentally and emotionally they are not strong. So we have to have all development, holistic development of the child. That is the focus of this policy, and that we have to foster unique capability. We have to make child to understand that each child is unique. That is very important. Secondly, the policy is also focusing on fundamental literacy and numeracy, that at least by the time they reach to grade 3, that fundamental they should know how to read, they should know the calculation, whatever at that age appropriate, that must be knowing. Because you all know that there is a world development report, and in 2018 or 19, that report itself projected India that children of class 5 are not able to do calculations or even read sentences of class 2. So this is the situation of a country after so much many years of independence. Then therefore this policy has said that we should focus on that the foundation should be very strong. As Professor Arora also said, that multidisciplinarity, not at the higher education, but even at the school education level also, that there should be no boundaries. One can take science, social science, though earlier also up to class 10, all subjects were general subjects. But now they are saying that all subjects are important, and they can take social science, humanities, sports. Multidisciplinarity is very, very important, because knowledge cannot be compartmentalized. It should be taken in a holistic and an integrated manner. That is also, they are saying no hard separation. Even the National Curriculum Framework 2005 has also said there is nothing extracurricular, there is no curricular, everything is curricular. So we have to see that there is no extracurricular activities, everything is curricular, there is no separation between vocational and academic stream. So all these things have to be removed, because we have to take them as a holistic one. The most important thing which this policy has brought out is the restructuring of the school curriculum, school structure. And they are saying that it should be first 5 years are foundational years. The focus for though earlier was also there, but it was not for everyone. But now it will be for everyone, that is pre-primary education. And they are saying that 3 years pre-primary, preschooling, 2 years from class 1 and 2. So putting together, there will be a foundational 5 years. So foundational means that we have to prepare the child in such a way so that the dropout rate should be very, very less, or rather there should not be, not even a zero dropout, you can say, that should remain. The second structure they have mentioned is preparatory 3 years. Means that the there should be class 3 to 5 will be preparatory in a way. That is a foundation. And even you have listened to our Prime Minister, that if the foundation is strong, definitely of any building, the building will be very strong. Similarly, if the child's foundation is strong, the child will throughout the life will be very strong. Even in case of health also, we used to say that there are 3 triple benefit of a child. If a child at the young age is very healthy, definitely as an adult he will be or she will be healthy, and when he or she will have next generation, they will also be healthy. Similarly, in school education also, if the foundation is very strong, then the higher education will be very strong, and the child will be able to contribute to the society. So the second structure, they said that it's a preparatory 3 years, class 3 to 5, and the age is 8 to 11 years. Then the middle stage, that is 3 years. Earlier also it was a middle stage, 6 to 8, class 6 and 8 will be the middle stage. And now they have combined secondary and higher secondary, senior secondary. So there will be only secondary stage consisting of class 9 to class 12. So this restructuring is being done on a very scientific ground, that first we have to prepare the child, the foundation should be very strong. Then we have to prepare preparatory stage, that the child should not think school as a punishment, because these days the child is, though we are focusing that it should be a joyful learning, but most of the children do not want to come to the school. So if foundation is interesting, is very joyful, more activity based, then definitely the children will come. The another important aspect of the restructuring of the school education system is that they have not only 3 to 8 years as a foundational, they have also included 0 to 3 years. So the role of parents have also been included, because it is not pre-primary education, it is early childhood care education. So they have added care, because care is very important. As most of the studies have shown that 85% of the brain development of the child happens by age 6. So if the nutritional level, if the care of the child has not been taken care, therefore the focus was there that we have to make the parents also aware how to take care of the child, what nutrition should be given to the child, how emotionally the child should be made very strong. So all these aspects has been given, and NCRT has been given the responsibility to come out with two, you can say, curriculum framework. One will be for 0 to 3 years, another will be for the you can say 3 to 8 years. So two sections will be there, and similarly the NCRT will come out with a curriculum framework for the school education. And here you can say even in early childhood care education, the focus is more on art, stories, poetries, and you can say songs. So more of joyful learning will be focused. And the system, because somebody can ask that where is the system? The system is not ready. So even Anganwadis will be used. There are pre-primary school, but later on you can say slowly there should be, the school should have pre-primary wing. But to begin with, since the system will take little time, so Anganwadi, standalone preschool program, so all these will work to achieve the goal of early childhood care education. Foundational literacy, as I said, very, very important. They are saying the foundational literacy, because if we have literacy at the lower level, then definitely our university system will also be able to, you can say, have a strong foundation. Holistic development, as I said, is very important, and the focus is on values, on character buildings, on, because many times you have seen our values are deteriorating. Our students do not have, you can say, values. So but values we have to inculcate, we cannot teach values. So we have to take the process aspect is such an important, that we have to imbibe values, we have to you can say develop their characters, we have to develop their capacities, and the competencies and the skills is also very important. The another focus of this policy is to reduce curriculum content. The focus is that the content should be less, because the child information we have to not to teach to that child. There's a one sentence, very important sentence, which the policy says that we have to help the learner to learn how to learn. So not, we have not to teach the learner, we have to help the learner to learn how to learn. So basic information they can get that, because now the lot of technology is available, lot of information is available on, you can say, on Google, on the internet. So basically how to learn, that is the focus of the thinking. So how to develop you can say critical thinking, all the life skills are very important, particularly the critical thinking, even 10 life skill which WHO says, we are saying even more than that. Team working in teams, collaborative learning. So critical thinking, communication, you can say dealing with stress, dealing with how to have empathy. So all those skills, life skills are very, very important, and therefore we have to reduce the curriculum. Then only the child will be able to have holistic so that is another focus. And the experiential learning is another, the pedagogical issues which have been focused in this policy. Even NCRT has developed those learning outcome, and for learning outcome the focus was on pedagogy, that if the pedagogy is very effective, very joyful, very, you can say, participatory, involving the children, then only the learning will take place. And therefore the policy is also focusing on, you can say, some of the experiential learning, things like working with hands, art focused, art integrated learning, even sports integrated learning, because sports can be used as a discipline also. Sports can be used for teaching even other subject, and particularly at the lower level where we have to make the foundation, there we have to focus on using of sports to teach different subject areas, storytelling based on educational pedagogy of each subject, that is also very, very important. So the policy is focusing that there should be experiential learning. You have to provide the child the opportunities to learn, and if you are not giving the opportunity, we are just teaching, not writing on the blackboard. Rather, we have to help the child to find out, to gather information, to collect information, to analyze information, and to draw inferences. So all these aspects mean participatory learning is more important. We have to focus on that. So the policy focus more on pedagogical process rather than on content. The most important aspect is assessment, because all these things will depend on assessment, how we are going to assess the children. If we are just having examination, then definitely the examination will have 3 hours examination, and the child will rote memorization. So the focus is not on rote memorization, rather they are saying on 360-degree, you can say, evaluation. So what is this 360-degree evaluation? Means the child, not only what the child has learned as math, science, social sciences, but also the whole aspect of the child, because the child might be having interest in music, the child might be having interest in sports, the child might be having interest, you can say, in poetry, the child might be having interest in, you can say, in presenting in drama, theater. So all these things need to be taken into consideration while assessing the child. And assessment and examination both should be, you can say, will though they have said there will be 10th and 12th board will be there, even the children will be assessed at class 3, class 5, class 8, but the focus should be on continuous and comprehensive evaluation. And when we say continuous and comprehensive evaluation, that means that we have to involve the child in such a pedagogical process so that the child can learn while doing activities. And therefore the focus is that assessment as learning, as assessment, and also for learning and for off learning. So assessment should be as, for, and off. So all the assessment should be taken into consideration, not only the summative assessment should be given focus. The vocational subject has been considered very important, because in India the vocational part is very weak, and most of the children, even doing after, you can say, your graduation, post graduation, they do not do even a small work at home. So vocational aspect of that child is very important, and this policy suggests at least to maybe pre-vocational can be started even in the earlier stages, but from class 6 onwards there should be one vocation the child has to undertake as an internship opportunity. And another, there will be 10 bagless, you can say, days will be there, where the child of any vocation, they can go to the community people, they can use those community expertise, and they can learn from that. So 10 bagless days is, I think, for the first time we have introduced into the education system. That is also focus on Indian knowledge. Indianness has been focused, yoga has been, you can say, astronomy, yoga, all these things. Even yoga is still as a part of health and physical education we have introduced, and yoga is coming up. Health and physical education, even that can be taken as a discipline at the, you can say, at a higher stage, though it's a compulsory subject area still, but people are not taking into consideration. So that is also one of the focus of this policy. The policy also focus books in local and national material, means the book should be available in local issues, local context should be taken into consideration, and NCERT should come out with quality textbooks, whereas SCERT will also develop their own textbook. They can adapt, for example, at present also about 28 states and union territories have adapted or adopted NCERT textbook, but the focus should be on more on local context related material. That will be very important. At present, availability of textbook is only, for example, NCERT brought out in 3 languages, but later on there the policy says it should be in all languages, in not only in 3 languages, but it should be in all languages. There should be promotion of national level, the textbooks should be promoted, development of textbook. So publication, writing of textbooks, that is also very, very important part of this. National book promotion policies have been focused. Even voluntarism has been focused, voluntary, you can say teach, peer tutoring, because they want that coaching culture should go away, more on thinking. And therefore you have seen even in the media, not on coaching but soaching, means on thinking aspect. More critically the child should think about, then only we will be able to have creativity among the children. There was one, somebody sent one, you can say, video, and they said that about our children at the early age are 100% creative, but the more they reach to the, you can say, higher level, the creativity go. So I'll just stop just by concluding that teacher preparation is very, very important, and use of technology, because we have seen that these days, if in COVID-19 situation, the technology has helped. So we must have, you can say, all technological aspects, the digital material, the repository of digital material, that is also very, very important. The health aspect of the children should be very important, though under Ayushman Bharat now there are the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare reaching to every school to screen their 32, you can say, deformities, whatever illness, etc. So they are going, and children particularly, the girls should be helped. There is a gender fund, there is an inclusion fund. So all aspects have been taken into consideration to, you can say, transform Indian education system, particularly the school education system, because school education is the base of all the countries. And if the school education is strong, quality education is there, teachers are motivated, and the preparation of teachers by the higher education, like colleges like you, if teachers are well trained in how to teach in an inclusive classroom, definitely we will be able to transform this education system, and all children will be in the schools. Thank you so much. I think I have finished within time. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was really wonderful to hear so many changes which have been introduced in school education, because the structure of school education has quite shifted. It's become more interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and there is a lot of choice to the students now to take up a lot of courses, take up vocational education. So it's a lot about empowering the students and accepting their choices. So I think that's one of the takeaways from your presentation. Now I invite Professor Amrut, who's been waiting very patiently. So I hand over the mic to Professor Amrut now.
Thank you, Professor Deepa, other faculty members, principal and other faculty members of Shyama Prasad Mukherji College of Education. My dear friend, Professor Pandit Arora, Professor Saroj Yadav Madam, and other dear students and other participants in this webinar. I'll be just trying to limit my speech by discussing either one or two. I think the time will be suffice only for that. One or two important suggestions of the policy document, and I'm trying to conceptually analyze those suggestions which are being made by the policy. To a large extent, I agree with my friend Pandit Arora about the foresightness of the policy document, national education policy, because so far what we have seen, in my opinion, I was just going through some of the policy documents which have been prepared, in 1968, 1986, 1992, and all this. All those policy documents are wonderfully written. But I would say that the policy document which has been prepared in 2020 seems to be excellently and brilliantly drafted. There is excellent work behind it. We should appreciate it. And also, the policy document has been so foresightful about the society, the future society that we are going to see in our India. See, what we are seeing is, the massive, changes which have been brought in by the digital world, the digital system, artificial intelligence, and all these kind of, Internet of Things, and all these kind of things are creating an altogether a different world for us. And I am sure that school also will subject to changes, as a result of this. And the national policy in education has given a high, space for all these kind of changes to bring in, so that our education system will be equipped for the future changes to come in. And at the same time, national policy in education emphasizes that education should be a social responsibility. So from there, let me start. now being supporting the basic core ideas of this national education policy, let me just critically probe into some of the policy suggestions which have been proposed. Now, either 2 or 3 maximum. So I think I'll be trying to conceptually analyzing all those. One important thing that policy documents foresee is the changes that we are going to face in the near future. That is the changes which are trying to be brought in with the help of the artificial intelligence and digital changes. So when talking about digital changes, the policy documents become rhetoric about the automated society, fourth industrial revolution, and all these kind of changes which are on our doorstep, on our threshold. On our threshold. One thing we all know that human being is getting into a hackable animal. That's what people like Yuval Noah Harari always used to say it. Human being is a hackable animal. You can be hacked at any point of time, or rather, I would say you are already hacked by the system. Say we always used to say that my computer is hacked, my face, or maybe your internet. Similarly, human being, me myself, is also hacked to a great extent. Say, for example, when I was trying to look into my Google, the advertisement which appears to me are quite those commodities which I prefer to buy. And when I go to the Google, maybe go to the Facebook, I could see that the advertisement of the shoe that is being shown to me are quite close to my interest. I was just wondering, how do they know my interest actually? Google, Amazon, Flipkart, and the whole digital system has a capacity to understand what Amrit likes, what kind of color combinations are being most liked by Amrit. Say, for example, if it is light yellow and then dark green and then blue, little sky blue or dark blue, will Amrit like this kind of a combination of a Nike shoe or an Adidas shoe? Flipkart, Amazon, and Nike and Adidas know better than me about my own interest. So sometimes I realize my interest through this advertisement. That's a way that we understand our own interest. So in that way, I myself has been hacked already. The shirt which has been shown to me, the shoe which has been shown to me, or the crockeries or the items which have been shown to me through my digital portal are quite close to my interest, and in that way I'm already hacked. And we all are hacked. We are all hacked animals, in fact, in a modern digital society. So in that way, when we look at the caution of the national education policy, what I would say, while talking and warning us about the coming of automation and then the fourth industrial revolution, the national education policy veer into a kind of a fetishism of the digital initiatives or the digital changes that's happening across the world. A kind of a fetishism. A fetishism is a kind of a state where an individual is falling in a kind of a relationship with an object or maybe phenomenon or anything of that sort, in which you believe that the commodity which has been prepared, that you have established a connection, has some kind of a divine kind of a presence or something, or even if it's not divine, it's something which you can never dream of making it actually. So it's made by big technology, big people, something of that sort. So my attachment or my connection with Dove soap or Pear soap or the Lux soap is in such a way that I fully trust with confidence that Lux has all the provisions to cater to my needs. But at the same time, a local soap which has been made at the Chhatra Marg, maybe in some corners of the Chhatra Marg, I do not trust those people's soap actually, because I don't believe in their technology. So I have a kind of fetishistic connection with this kind of a technology. So in that way, I would say that to a great extent, the policy document has been viewed digital changes or the digital society in a fetishistic manner. To a great extent, these digital devices and changes have been viewed with a respect or a kind of a attitude which it deserves more than actually, I would say. In that way, as we are a hackable object, I would say that the policy document views students, human beings, or the students which are the finished products, or those who are completed graduates as kind of a perishable labor, kind of a perishable object. Say, for example, Technology is changing every day, so that a student should go for multiple skill training at their school. That's what the interest of the idea of multiple skill combination for a particular student. Every student should go with more than one skill actually. Why do one skill? Say for example, if I am trained in preparing a particular, say for example, a kind of a particular skill, carpentry, say for example, carpentry. I am trained in carpentry, and I have given skills in carpentry. If I have only carpentry with me, tomorrow the whole carpentry work will become fully automated, so that there won't be even need of one. Say for example, if there are in the space of 10 people needed for carpentry, maybe one person can do the whole work with the help of the automated machines. So in that case, the job of the 9 people is going to be lost. So in that case, I should not cry and I could not sit idle at my home. I should go with the second skill. So the multiple skill idea is basically a kind of a warning for every individual. We would say that it's a wonderful suggestion, and we should understand a very serious warning on all the individuals about the future, that the teacher who is teaching today shall become a teacher without a kind of a teaching job. Say for example, almost all kinds of teaching jobs can be automated through mediums like MOOC, Swayam, and other kind of things. Say for example, take the case of educational psychology. I teach educational psychology. Dr. Deepa teaches educational psychology. Professor Arora teaches, and all these people teaches. And then you will get more than 10 or 15, same, syllabus with different people's perspective. And then the single thing can be used for teaching a larger number of people. So, for example, if you were in need of 100 teachers for teaching a particular course, it can be reduced to 1 or 2. The remaining can be managed with the online automated system. So, an important warning also is being tacit in a kind of suggestion which is been discussing about this multiple skill training for the student. And that warning is that you are a perishable labor. At any point of time, your labor will become a useless kind of one. Your skill will become useless. And then if you wanted to survive in this world, you have to go for the second skill that you have already acquired from the institution. So this is an important point when we talk about this multiple skill training which has been proposed by. But unfortunately, that's one of my reservations against the national education policy. Of course, it suggests for a kind of a more change from the traditional single skill oriented way of teaching to multiple skill oriented teaching. But the policy should have been made a very, very critical comment on the future of the society or the future of the education through which the students has to be educated. Say, for example, if your job is been lost, it's your responsibility to look after you. And you are not supposed to come to the government and say, that's all, my job is lost, kindly give me maybe a pension, or maybe some rice, or maybe the roti, all these kind of things. We cannot come and say. So in that way, when you look at it, while teaching through multiple skill training programs, in a way, to a large extent, this policy document becomes a tool of a kind of a money-saving government, so that it wants that we have already warned you that your job may not be a permanent one, so that if your job is lost, don't come to us. So in a way, to a great extent, neoliberalistic viewpoints are been playing a very big role in such kind of a suggestion. This is the merit and demerit of this particular suggestion. And next, I would say that the idea of multiple entry exit. Policy. This idea of multiple entry exit policy has given a wonderful opportunity for the students to pursue their course at their own pace. And at the same time, this policy, to a large number of students, it's going to be a great blessing. And on the other side, this is going to bring in a large responsibility and a big chaos among the academics. The serious complications of implementing this multiple entry exit point has to be pondered very seriously. Say, for example, a 4-year degree course or a 3-year degree course, graduate course. it will be divided into, if it is 3 years, 6 semesters. So in the first semester, a student has dropped out. Maybe in 2020-21, a student has dropped out. And in the second semester, maybe some 5 or 6 people will drop out. And in the course of time, so many people will drop out. Maybe every year, certain incoming people also will be there. So because there is multiple entry also, not only exit, there is entry also. So when people are coming in, already there are certain number of students inside the classroom. And in that cases, how many students will be admitted from the outside, those who have already dropped out? This is an important question. While talking about this particular question, say for example, if a student joined in a particular course in 2020 and she dropped out in the first semester and she wanted to come back in 2025, say for example, provision is there in 2025, how do the institution ensure the prerequisites for the students to come back and join for the course is a serious question. Automatically, the answer is that we will conduct an examination, because examination is a panacea for almost all the issues that we are going to face in our educational institutions. So, an automatically replace an examination. Okay, we agreed with that. An examination will be conducted. For example, in 2025, there are 50 students who has applied for entry, because over a course of time, the number of students exited will become accumulated. And as a result, large number of people will be there at the doorstep every year. Not this year, maybe after a decade or so. So how many students will be admitted? For example, already we have 30 students, 50 are waiting outside. How do we admit them? And then what about the reservation policy for admitting all this? This is going to create a large amount of, kind of discussions, debates, and all these kind of things to be needed to settle down this particular issue. Very complicated issues are waiting for the academicians to settle with all these issues to be all these issues. And now let me come to the conceptual aspect. That means my reservation or a critic about this particular policy document. So far I was just viewing it in a neutral way. The critical point about it is that by first semester or second semester, if I could not complete the course, just because of the reason that I don't have money with me to pursue the course continuously up to the third year, I can drop out. What the multiple entry exit policies suggest to the student who don't have the money is that if you don't have money, drop out and come back when you have money, which very clearly point out that, if you don't have money, don't come for education. Because we have given the opportunity for dropping out and then coming back at any point of time. That means that the responsibility of the education, which was treated as a social responsibility to a large extent, social responsibility, and that social responsibility will be handed over to the individual. Education will become an individual responsibility instead of a social responsibility. That means that the multiple entry exit system, even if it provides a wonderful opportunity for various groups of students due to their difficulties, for those students who drop out with financial problems, this multiple entry exit policy gives a very clear message that education is not a social responsibility, but education is an individual responsibility, and nation and the state and the government and the society do not undertake the financial responsibility of educating you. We will give little freebies like reduced fee or so, but if it is financial responsibility, we have given freedom, drop out, come back when you have money. And this is an important point which I would very strongly, critique about, and then I would disagree with. But if it is due to financial responsibilities, I would strongly argue that the policy would have suggested a kind of a policy whereby, due to financial, shortage, no student should be. See, now we used to say that due to financial shortage, no student should be banned from education, should not be given, should not be stopped from educating from a particular institution. But this has to be implemented in such a way that due to financial shortage, no student should be allowed to drop out. So that should be the policy, and I think we should be able to communicate this to the government so that that a wonderful point of the welfare concept of education will be brought into the idea of this particular national policy on education. I am quite aware about the time because already we are running out of time. With just one more point, I'll be just stopping. I wanted to explain this point further, but of course the limit of time is there. And the next one is the credit bank, the idea of credit bank, which has been proposed by the National Education Policy. This is also a wonderful policy because if a student wanted to go for another kind of a course which has been not offered to the student in their own institution, of course, they can go for another course which has been offered by a college or an institution. They can get a credit and they can deposit the credit in the credit bank and they can redeem it at the time when they wanted to wanted to get graduation. This is a very good idea to a large extent. I would largely agree with that. But at the same time, I would like to show the other aspects of this particular policy as well in such a way that, say, for example, if I am given with an opportunity to pursue maximum number of courses and thereby credit maximum number of credits in deposit maximum number of credits into the credit bank of the nation, of the UGC or the Higher Education Council or whoever it be going to be, you know what I will do? I will join for maximum courses available for me. You know, if the condition goes in our society in such a way that I have seen teachers who are attending more than 4 conferences by using 4 different digital tools. You can attend 4 conferences or seminars which are running at the same time by using 3 or 4 devices. One is your office computer, 2 of your mobiles, 1 of your laptop. This is possible. So in that case, what happens? The students will compete, absolute competition in registering maximum number of courses available, so that higher the credits deposited, higher the benefits that they are going to acquire. So in that way, you know what will happen? This will become a race. This will become a race, absolute race among the students, among the competitors, among the students, and thereby they will register in maximum courses, and this registration in maximum courses will result in an exodus, and the result is an absolutely competitive society. Absolutely competitive society in which I will never share to which course I have shared, and you will never share to which course I have shared, because this course of high potential, and if there is large number of people who are registering in this particular course, you know, that's going to reduce my demand, so that I will do it in a clandestine manner by reducing the maximum number of people in this particular course, but still I will get it registered. So this is the way I'm going to operate. What happens? 2 students will be sharing the same bench and desk. They will be hugging every day, but they will not say. Maybe sometimes with strict instructions from their parents, don't share all these things to your friends. You know, they will not share to which courses I have done. I have registered. Already similar kind of trend is going among the teachers. Teachers are not sharing what they are doing. One research project, one teacher will not inform the other one. One paper presentation, one teacher will not inform, because it will reduce the probability for getting selected. So absolutely competitive society will be the result of such kind of suggestion. That has to be taken care of while we have to implement this kind of policies. I have little more points to be discussed. I hope I will be able to do that maybe sometime through writing or maybe some other platforms. I thank Dr. Deepa, Dr. Charu Sharma, and other principal and other dignitaries. My dear friend Pankajji, Yadav madam. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really insightful to hear your appreciation of the national education policy and bringing in light certain kinds of nuances which we might face in the future, whether it's higher education, whether it's school education, and how the individual, we will have to change our own style of working as well. So I think you brought a lot of things about technology, about how we are being actually hacked, and that's quite true, because we are faced with this analytics which is part of our everyday life now. And it's these neoliberal policies and the market policies which are affecting each one of us without actually we realizing it. Thank you so much for your presentation, sir. I think I'll open the house for question and answers. Whoever has any questions, please let me know and raise your hands. Girls, do you have any questions?
I have most of the things were clear to them.
Seems like. Okay then, thank you ma'am, and thank you. I take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks to Professor Pankaj-ji, Amrut-ji, Saroj ma'am, and the organizing committee, especially Hemlata ma'am, Charu ma'am, Sadhna ma'am, and Veena ma'am for this opportunity. And now I invite the second session, who's been all of this conference has been in association with sarkarischool.in, and they have been an integral part of it since its inception of this conference. So now I invite Abhishek ji for its inaugural address, and I thank all the speakers for their valuable time. Thank you so much.
So, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Abhishek ji, it's over to you now.
Thank you very much, Deepa, Amrut-ji, Saroj-ji, and all organizers. And now we'll be
Thank you, Pankaj-ji. Thank you, Pankaj-ji. Thank you, Amrut-ji. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Ma'am, should I introduce the speakers of technical session too?
Just a second. Yeah, just a second, Charu. Yeah, I think you will. You can introduce the speakers. You can introduce the speakers, Professor Dr. Abhishek ji, and then the speakers.
Sure, ma'am. So, welcome to technical session 2 of this webinar, which is titled as National Education Policy and its Implementation at School Level. The inaugural session of the session will be provided by Mr. Ranjan Kumar, who is currently a public policy analyst and founder at sarkarischool.in. He is connected in the field of education for over a decade. Mr. Abhishek Ranjan has been an educational activist working on the grassroots level. He had worked in 5 states and was actively involved in Niti Aayog's initiative, Aspirational District Program, where he had worked in almost 3 backward districts of India. He is also the founder of sarkarischool.in, which is a virtual platform dedicated to government schools to bring forth a positive image of the government schools across the country. Then our next speaker for technical session is Mr. Saji Kumar VS, who is currently an art teacher at Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya in Kerala. He has a keen interest and a very kind-hearted individual. He has long been in the run to propagate and promote art-integrated education learning in Navodaya Vidyalayas. Mr. Saji Kumar has received a National ICT Award as well as National Teacher Award this year. His work so far has been to give rise to the cultural heritage of the country and to make the youth well learned in Indian art forms. With the help of ICT, he is achieving milestones in the teaching field. And the topic of his presentation today is technology in the achievement of the goal of National Education Policy 2020. Next speaker for technical session 2 is Dr. Sudha Paneli, who is currently the Vice Principal of Eklavya Model Residential School in Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Dr. Sudha Paneli is a shining star in the teaching field and the first among all in the Eklavya Model Residential School community. She has received India's highest teacher award this year, that is National Teacher Award. Her enthusiastic initiatives and decade-long experiences sows the seeds for the betterment in the field of education. Her presence is a ray of hope for many of her contemporaries. And the topic for presentation today is the role of national education policy in the development of underprivileged sections and rural students. Our last speaker for this session would be Ms. Chavi Agarwal, who is currently an assistant teacher at Government Primary School in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Ms. Agarwal is a visionary teacher working towards the betterment of her students and education system. Her achievements are the silver lining for the initiatives taken by her so far. Miss Chabi Agarwal is also working as a state resource person for many projects of SCRT Uttar Pradesh. Recently, for Modi's initiative of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao Andolan, there has been a series of initiatives taken by her to promote the idea of equality and right to education and to the right of the education of girl child. And today, the topic of our presentation is Introduction of NEP 2020 and the societal role in its proper implementation and improvement. So I thank the organizing team for providing me this opportunity to introduce the speakers. Now I would like to invite Mr. Abhishek Ranjan Kumar and other team members to proceed with this technical session too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir, we can hear you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Thank you, sir, so much. It's been really inspiring. And I now hand over the session to Hemlata ma'am.
Thank you so much, Abhishek sir, for such inspiring words. And आपने बहुत अच्छे से ये बताया कि किस तरीके से पॉलिसी में ये शिफ्ट आया है, वो जो 3 लेवल्स आपने समझाए. आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट कि क्योंकि हमारे पास समय की थोड़ी कमी है, हम थोड़ा टाइम से आगे चल रहे हैं, तो 8 to 10 मिनट्स में हर स्पीकर अपनी बात फिनिश करने की कोशिश करे. इट्स अ हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट. थैंक यू. Now we have first panelist, Dr. Saji Kumar. Saji Kumar, sir.
Hello. Good morning to everyone. It is actually not good morning, it is good afternoon. Sorry for that. Thank you for giving a very wonderful platform to me to talk with you. And I think whatever I can share, that is the practical experience with me in the Navodaya Vidyalayas, various Navodaya Vidyalayas. So I think I can share some of my experience, how I spend the time with the students with integrated learning with art and other subjects. And I think that nowadays the learning is it is something just based upon the textbook. But through the art education, I think it can be a lifelong habit to learn a very stress-free atmosphere. So I think only art can do such exercises and such creative ability for the students. So what is the meaning of art in a wide range? That is what I am going to show through this presentation. And Abhishek ji, please share my presentation so I can directly get into the presentation, and I will show some of my activities and how I shared the same thing with the students. And now
Sir, your presentation is visible. So we can see the presentation.
Or should I do it?
No, sir, it's presenting. Abhishek sir is presenting.
Sir, your presentation is visible.
Okay. Okay, first slide you can take, sir. First slide. Very first slide. Okay, thank you. And put it in LR, sir. F5. Full screen, full screen. Okay. So actually it was given the role of art integrated learning and the use of technology in the present scenario. That is very important in the case of our school education. So next I can simply show the what are the possibilities. Next slide, sir. So here you can see the basic structure of art education in a wide meaning. The art education ensures stress-free lifelong education, and it integrated collaborative initiative in a very important way to other subjects. That is actually need of the 21st century education, and the NEP also demand for that. You can see some of the photographs there. What is the wide meaning? The first they have made some biological part. The students are weaving. Students are making something with the playground, the basketball painting. Next to the biology lab, they are doing something. sculpture making, collaborative learning of Indian traditional art, and photographic exhibition, and creating sculptures with their own way, and helping other teacher also to that the online education to maintain the quality, and students themselves they are making the video and the audio editing and graphic designing. And I have taken some exercise with the agriculture, organic agriculture. So these are the areas I have integrated through my experience. So next slide. So here, this is a place for actually learning something from my school, and the art room is actually a center point for that. So whatever the students are actually free to come over there, and that is a space to think a little and free way, so that they will be coming with their own ideas, and we are giving an opportunity to use colors and multimedia speakers and the platform and everything for them. So I think that's it's a space for art integrated learning. So there, after learning art only, we can think about integrated approach of the art. First we have to learn what is the basic aesthetics of and how to approach the art with the integrated way to other subjects. So that there is a base, like when you write a poem, we need to know about the language and its alphabet and grammar and certain things. Then only we can integrate the life and the other subject and its solution through a poem. So in same way, so here you can see some of my campus, and it has given a colorful ambience over there, in and outside of the Vidyalaya. Students are actually worked a lot of painting outside the world. Interior, some area also they painted. And I have given a dual tone for the school for getting a very, so color can also create a positive energy in the campus. That is what my experience just given something to me. Okay, next. And here you can see it is a very art integrated learning with the biology activities. So I have done this project in JNV Trivandrum, and all these sculptures we have made with the help of the students, and paramecium and the cell division, starfish and Agastya Muni sculpture and ice cross section, education posters, a lot of things we have done it. And education poster also, the e-books also they are designing. So all these things actually, so it is in the biology park area. And next, now you can see the art integrated learn with the physical education. You can see the students, they have made a colorful platform for physical education. So next, sir. Next. Okay. Here you can see the sound engineer, the sound editing, an entry-level sound card, recording mic, digital camera, video camera, scanner, tripod, and inkjet printer, computer, external hard disk monitor, everything they have given free to use in the art room. So the digital initiative, that is actually the need of the next century. Without digital knowledge, hardware knowledge, we cannot go and we cannot present ourselves in a better way. So hardwares also used and softwares also used in the art room for communication. There are a lot of softwares which is supporting for art. Audacity is there, and Jimby is there, and Inkscape is there, and Google SketchUp is there. PageMaker for designing things, and even PowerPoint presentation you can do that. Stop motion studio for making small animations, and MyPaint, Google Drawing. Free, lot of things are available in the software. So you can select out of that and go for communicating something to the reality. And here you can see the students are engaged with the various activities in my art room. And the first slide, that was actually long back I have started this thing. It is a biology lab. Students, they submitted their CDs with the ideal cover page with their project and presented in a professional way. So, and second, the very junior children, very small children, they are actually approaching for graphic designing and sound recording and all. So this is possible in school if you take a little interest for integrate to the other subject, and it will connect you through the social media, and it will be a very great motivation for the students to encourage them to make them professional in their future goals. Next. So here, 88 videos we have actually published in the YouTube with different activities, which cover all the areas of their activities. And all these videos actually mainly communicated the activities of the students and integrated approach with the various aspects. So CCA programs, other programs, and the social related programs documented with the help of the student. They themselves, they are using cameras and editing. And only the talented student, they come up in a professional way. Many students also came up in a professional in sound editing and video editing and multimedia. And here you can see the CCA programs. Whenever we conduct a CCA program in the schools, you can think a little bit how we can present in a white canvas. So here we can see the Christmas program and CCA program and the World AIDS Day. And we have made with the participation of all. So whenever we do something with a collaborative way and very unique identity with the forms and figures, that image will be forever with their mind, and it will be very easy to understand the concept of the or the content of the theme. Next. So here you can see it is actually a art of cooking. Nowadays, the parents are actually not permitting our children to cook something with their kitchen, because the general thing, hotel food culture and junk food culture, everything is coming in a very fast way. But in that scenario, I thought of giving a traditional cooking from whatever the resources available from our village, that can be cooked in a very motherly way. And the students are actually very closely associated with the cooking habit. And I have given a full day to cook the traditional cooking, and all the students enjoyed from 6th to 12th in a very nice manner. So this is a true picture for that. Next. And here you can see different type of stage designs we have made for various programs. So each and every design is actually supporting to the students' mind to remember that particular program in its dignity and its aesthetic mode. So once we create a very defeating variety stage design, then I think definitely students will be, or in their minds, little minds, they'll be remembering all these images, and they cannot come down particular that level. And whenever they are mature, they will be doing better than this. That's what I found. So make all the programs colorful way through artists.
Saji sir, Saji sir.
Yes, yes sir.
Saji sir,
Hello?
sir, can you wind up a little quick?
Okay. And
Okay,
this is
okay,
actually,
thank you.
this is agriculture thing. We have made it very nicely from the school, and the bio-organic agriculture. And next, and the wall mural paintings. They have done it in the school, and it is very nicely wide space they are giving for nice space for them. And next, these are actually some of the school activities with such part of the activities, and the public related waiting shed and other place also. Students went and did something. It's an integrated learning. Next. And this is connected with the village. Small children also joined with our effort. Next. And next, this is actually children are doing with the puppetry and the low cost materials. Next. And it is the graphic designs done by the students. And language also we have done Pachas and women. And I got a reputation from the Intel, just backside. And the Intel also published this thing with the 6 pages, art integration learning. And next, I got 2 times the chance for the ICT Mela to showcase art integrated learning in Delhi and Kochi. So these are actually possible only because of art integrated education. And these are the sculptures I made in the school, very huge sculptures. And these are my next. These are some of my paintings. And this is the base of doing all these things. And I think through art, we can do a lot of things. And people are having a lot of confusion how to integrate the art education with other subjects. Still, people are going behind the theoretical things and 4 walls of the classroom. And it is my humble request, come out of the classroom and see the reality and see what is needed for the future. Then only we can create or we can motivate our students in a practical way, not in the textbook, but it should be in the practical platform. So art can do a lot of creative and innovative approach and problem solving analysis and problem solving approaches. So education can be in the very meaningful way, and art a gateway for the lifelong learning process, and join with art education and art integration. Thank you.
थैंक यू सो मच साजिद सर, आपने इतने बेहतरीन तरीके से बताया कि किस तरीके से इंटीग्रेटेड एजुकेशन और आर्ट एजुकेशन इज अ पार्ट। जब भी हम इंडिजीनियस नॉलेज सिस्टम की बात करते हैं तो वहां पर भी यही होता है कि किस तरीके से हम अपने नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज एंड एनवायरनमेंट को यूज कर सकते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच सर। I would like to invite our next panelist, Dr. Sudha Penvili. Dr. Sudha Penvili.
नमस्कार सभी को। It's my honor to present my views on such a big platform. So thank you very much for providing me this opportunity. As my topic is the role of NEP 2020 in the development of underprivileged section and rural students. And for last 10 years, I have been working with the tribal community of Uttarakhand. So मैं समझ सकती हूँ कि जो रूरल एरिया के बच्चे हैं, अंडर प्रिविलेज कैटेगरी से जो आते हैं, उनकी क्या जरूरत हो सकती है। तो सबसे पहली बात तो कि NEP 2020 बहुत सारे रिवॉल्यूशनरी इनिशिएशन के साथ आई है। As we all know that this is the first education policy of 21st century. So जितने भी इसमें प्रोविजंस दिए गए हैं वो बहुत बड़े स्वागत के योग्य हैं, बशर्ते कि वो पूरी तरीके से ग्रास रूट लेवल पे इम्प्लीमेंट हो सके। तो जो ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी और रूरल एरियाज के बच्चे रहते हैं, उनको मेन स्ट्रीम में लाना एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज रहता है हम लोगों के लिए, क्योंकि जिस बैकग्राउंड से वो बच्चे आते हैं तो उनको पहले कॉन्फिडेंट बनाना कि दे आर नॉट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम अदर स्टूडेंट्स, तो वो एक हम टीचर्स के लिए बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज रहता है। और जैसा कि इस पॉलिसी में ECCE के थ्रू जो है फाउंडेशन लिटरेसी पे जोर दिया गया, वो सबसे बहुत अच्छी पहल मैं मानती हूँ कि जब फाउंडेशन मजबूत होगी तो आगे सेकेंडरी लेवल पे हम टीचर्स को पढ़ाने में बच्चे तैयार मिलेंगे, लर्निंग को जो है एक्सेप्ट करने के लिए, उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए। इस एजुकेशन पॉलिसी की जो एक और इम्पोर्टेंट बात है हमारे रूरल और अंडर प्रिविलेज बच्चों के फेवर में स्पेशली, तो वो ये है कि जो लोकल लैंग्वेज है उसको भी इम्पोर्टेंस दी जा रही है, क्योंकि एक बहुत बड़ा रीजन ये मैंने पर्सनली इन बच्चों के साथ रहते हुए पाया है कि इस वजह से, क्योंकि लोकल डायलेक्ट जो रहता है उनका वो इतना हावी रहता है कि इंग्लिश तो दूर की बात है, पहले उन्हें हिंदी शुद्ध बोलने में हम लोगों को काफी मशक्कत करनी पड़ती है, लेकिन वो अपनी जो लोकल लैंग्वेज है उसमें बहुत कंफर्टेबल फील करते हैं। तो जैसा कि इस एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में बताया गया है कि इंस्टीट्यूशन शुड बी अ फियरलेस लर्निंग प्लेस, उस बात को हम इस माध्यम से जो है इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं, उस गोल को आसानी से पा सकते हैं। इसके अलावा एक जो और प्रॉब्लम इन एरियाज की आती है ड्रॉप आउट्स की। मेरे साथी अभिषेक जी ने बहुत अच्छी बात बोली कि उन बच्चों की क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं जिन दूर दराज के एरिया से आते हैं, कई किलोमीटर तक स्कूल नहीं है, स्पेशली इन केस ऑफ गर्ल्स। तो उस में एक सुझाव मैं अपनी तरफ से देना चाहूंगी कि कम से कम ब्लॉक लेवल पे कुछ रेजिडेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन जो है वो स्टैब्लिश किए जाए, जहां पर की मॉनिटरिंग बहुत अच्छे से हो सकेगी। हम जो है टीचर्स को बेहतर सुविधाएं प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं, और उसके साथ ही जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो नियर बाय एरिया में स्कूल ना होने की वजह से ड्रॉप कर जाते हैं बीच में ही, तो उनके लिए एक बहुत सशक्त माध्यम बनेगा जिसकी वजह से हम इसको रोक सकते हैं। दूसरी बहुत एक जरूरी बात जो इस पॉलिसी में रखी गई है कि कोशिश की जाएगी कि इंटीरियर्स में, जहां पर कि स्कूल्स में वैकेंट रहती है पोस्ट टीचर्स की, तो वो क्या कारण है हमने देखा है, विशेष रूप से सरकारी स्कूलों की हम बात करें, मैं खुद उस सिस्टम से बिलोंग करती हूँ, कि जो इजी अप्रोच में है, सेंटर के जो स्कूल्स हैं उसमें तो कहीं कहीं स्टाफ ओवर हो रहा है, और दूर दराज के बच्चे स्कूल जहां पर है वहां पर कई सब्जेक्ट, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट के भी टीचर्स कई कई साल तक नहीं है। और बात की जाए बच्चों की, तो हर बच्चे का ये एक ये बेसिक राइट है कि उसको भी एक अच्छे स्कूल में या पैसा खर्च करने के बाद प्राइवेट स्कूल में जो सुविधाएं मिलती हैं वो उस बच्चे को सरकारी स्कूल में भी मिलनी चाहिए। और जैसा अभिषेक जी ने कहा था कि टैग लगा हुआ है सरकारी स्कूलों पे, तो फिर इस बात पे देखा जाए कि क्या कारण है। अगर हम बात करें दूर दराज के क्षेत्रों में टीचर्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर देखा जाए कि वो क्या कारण है कि इस वजह से टीचर्स वहां रहने को तैयार नहीं है, क्या वहां पर मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज अवेलेबल है, क्या उसकी अप्रोच मेन रोड से वहां तक है, इन केस ऑफ लेडी टीचर्स क्या वहां पर रेजिडेंस की सुविधाएं हैं। मैं आज भी कई ऐसी जगहों को, ऐसे गांवों को जानती हूँ जहां पर महिला टीचर रहना भी चाहें तो वो घर उस तरीके से नहीं बनेंगे। तो ये कुछ बेसिक जरूरत है जो टीचर्स को भी चाहिए। तो इस तरीके से एक सजेशन है कि इन हार्ड जो स्पॉट्स हैं उनको चॉक आउट किया जाए और वहां पर जो है टीचर को कुछ एक्स्ट्रा इंसेंटिव अगर दिया जाए, जैसे बॉर्डर पे रहने वाले सिपाहियों के लिए भी रहता है एक्स्ट्रा इंसेंटिव, ऐसा कुछ प्रोविजन बनाया जाए तो शायद इस वाली कमी को पूरा किया जा सकता है। इसके अलावा जो है एक सजेशन और है कि जब लोकल की बात हो रही है, लोकल कंटेंट की बच्चे स्पेशली ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी की अगर मैं बात करें तो जैसा स्टेट्स पे छोड़ा जा रहा है सिलेबस को डिसाइड करने के लिए, तो उसमें जो उस स्टेट विशेष की जो उनकी कल्चरल हेरिटेज है उसको जिंदा रखने के लिए उसको उस कंटेंट को सिलेबस से जोड़ा जाए और जूनियर लेवल तक बच्चा अपनी सांस्कृतिक विरासत को जाने, समझे, उससे जुड़े रहने में प्राउड फील करे। तो ये कुछ प्रोविजन है जिनको हम अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। और इसके अलावा बहुत अच्छी बात है कि आंगनबाड़ी को स्ट्रेंथन करने की बात की जा रही है कि बेसिक उनको भी ट्रेन किया जाएगा। आज तक जिस बारे में कभी सोचा नहीं, क्योंकि हमेशा यही सोचा कि छोटे बच्चे हैं सिर्फ इनको देखभाल ही तो करनी है या न्यूट्रिशन प्रोवाइड करने के लिए आंगनबाड़ी केंद्र बनाए गए, लेकिन अब उनको ट्रेनिंग दी जाएगी और बच्चा जो है जब स्कूल में एंटर करेगा तो प्री स्कूलिंग के थ्रू तैयार होके आएगा। ये कई सारे पॉइंट हैं। इसके अलावा स्कूल लेवल लाइब्रेरी हर गांव में स्थापित करने का एक प्रावधान रखा गया है जो बहुत ही स्वागत योग्य है, जिससे बच्चों में जो रीडिंग की जो लर्निंग जो धीरे धीरे कम होती जा रही है उसको हम जो है कायम रख सकेंगे। तो ये कुछ सुझाव है। टाइम इज ऑलरेडी वेरी शॉर्ट, सो आई विल कंक्लूड with the thanks that टीचर्स को भी एक moral responsibility लेनी होगी और ये मानना होगा कि we are teachers not by chance but by choice। तो और समाज में क्यों टीचर्स को डॉक्टर के बाद एक बहुत सम्मानजनक दृष्टि से देखा जाता है, तो इस वजह से हमारी मॉरल जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं वो भी बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाती हैं। एंड इन द डायरेक्शन वी ऑल हैव टू डू अ लॉट, माइल्स टू गो बिफोर आई स्लीप। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू सो मच सुधा मैम फॉर सच एन इंस्पायरिंग वर्ड्स। और आपने जिस बेहतरीन तरीके से ये हमको बताया कि किस तरीके से प्री स्कूलिंग की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है, एंड इवन अभिषेक सर ने भी, थैंक यू सो मच। आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट आवर नेक्स्ट पैनलिस्ट मिस छवि अग्रवाल। मिस छवि।
नमस्ते हेमलता जी, थैंक यू
जी जी नमस्ते,
इनवाइटिंग मी। क्या मेरी आवाज आ रही है प्रॉपर?
जी जी आपकी आवाज आ रही है, आपकी आवाज आ रही है।
ओके ओके, हेलो टू ऑल द पीपल हियर। और बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है आप लोगों के बीच आज यहाँ आकर। जैसा कि मेरा आपने इंट्रोडक्शन दिया है कि मैं बनारस से हूँ और एक प्राइमरी स्कूल में 11 सालों से कार्यरत हूँ, तो मेरा अपना एक एक्सपीरियंस है। और जैसा कि मेरा आज का टॉपिक है कि इंट्रोडक्शन टू एनईपी 2020 एंड इट्स सोसाइटी का जो रोल है इसके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में और इसके इम्प्रूवमेंट में, उस पर बातचीत करने के लिए आज मुझे यहाँ पे इनवाइट किया गया है। तो मैं अपनी बातचीत को बहुत ही शॉर्ट रखूंगी क्योंकि ऑलरेडी वी आर रनिंग आउट ऑफ द टाइम। तो मैं कोशिश करूंगी कि जो बातें मैं कहना चाहती हूँ वो मैं तय समय सीमा के अंतर्गत पूरी कर लूँ। और दीपा मैम को मेरा नमस्ते, और यहाँ पे उपस्थित अभिषेक सर को मेरा थैंक यू जो मुझे यहाँ पे इन्वाइट किया है। मैं अपनी बात शुरू करने से पहले कहना चाहती हूँ कि हमारा जो ये एक्सपेक्टेशन है सोसाइटी से कि वो हमारी शिक्षा में, व्यवस्था में, जो भी हमारी स्कूलों की एजुकेशन में सहयोग करे समाज, एक मतलब उसके इम्प्रूवमेंट में और उसके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में, तो सबसे पहले हमें समाज के इंटरेस्ट और इन्वॉल्वमेंट को बढ़ाना होगा। जहाँ हम 2 आइज की बात कर रहे हैं कि उनकी तरफ से हमें इम्प्रूवमेंट में हेल्प मिले और इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में हेल्प मिले, तो सबसे पहले हमें उनके इंटरेस्ट और उनके इन्वॉल्वमेंट पे ध्यान देना होगा। अगर वो हमारी सोसाइटी हमारे स्कूलों में इन्वॉल्व होगी, उनका इंटरेस्ट होगा, तो इट विल बी मतलब इजी। और ये स्वाभाविक रूप से होगा। हमें उनको किसी चीज़ के लिए मतलब ये नहीं कि वी नीड अ लॉट ऑफ एडवर्टाइज़मेंट और कुछ भी कि हाँ, उन्हें हम समझाएँ जाके, कुछ भी इस चीज़ की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। तो समाज ऑलरेडी हमारे स्कूलों में हम जैसे कि अभी इसी क्षेत्र में काम कर रहे हैं, तो हम देखते हैं कि बहुत सारे स्कूलों में कम्युनिटी की हेल्प से बहुत सारे काम हुए हैं, जो कि गवर्नमेंट के फंडिंग से कभी भी इतना कुछ होना एक बार में पॉसिबल नहीं हो पाता है, क्योंकि उनकी भी अपनी एक लिमिटेशंस हैं, एक अपने क्राइटेरियाज़ होते हैं कि इतनी चीज़ें वो इस फंड में देंगे, इतनी चीज़ें वो इस फंड में देंगे, तो हम उनसे उस तरह की एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं कर सकते। हमारी इच्छाएँ भी अनंत है कि हम अपने बच्चों को सब कुछ देना चाहते हैं। जैसे हमारे घर में हमारी अगर एक लिमिटेड बजट है, तो हम सोचते हैं कि नहीं बच्चे को ये भी दें, वो भी दें, तो उस तरीके से हमारी सोच स्कूल में भी होती है कि सभी चीज़ें देना उस फंडिंग में पॉसिबल नहीं है। लेकिन जब हमें अपने सोसाइटी का सहयोग मिलता है, लोगों का विश्वास मिलता है, आस-पास के लोगों से हेल्प मिलती है, तो हम उस चीज़ को भी कर ले जाते हैं, जो कि हमारे लिए कभी-कभी सोच पाना भी संभव नहीं होता है। तो मैं अब एनईपी के टॉपिक्स पे बात करूँगी, वन बाय वन हम चर्चा करते हैं, कि जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि इसका जो वर्ष 2030 तक का लक्ष्य है, वो ग्रॉस एनरोलमेंट रेशियो को 100% अचीव करने का एक एम है, एनईपी 2020 का। तो इसमें हमारी सोसाइटी किस तरह से हमें हेल्प कर सकती है, कि हम एनरोलमेंट तो करा लेते हैं, बट क्या होता है ड्रॉप आउट की जो सबसे बड़ी समस्या है, वो एक चुनौती के रूप में हमारे प्राइमरी स्कूलों में बहुत ही ज़्यादातर देखने को मिलती है, क्योंकि उनकी भी समस्याएँ होती हैं जिसको हम इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते। तो इस क्षेत्र में हमारी सोसाइटी के लोग जो होते हैं, वो हमें हेल्प कर सकते हैं। कम्युनिटी वाले जो पेरेंट्स हैं बेसिकली, वो अपने बच्चों को रेगुलरिटी मेंटेन करके और स्कूलों से कनेक्टेड रहें, जो हमारी एसएमसीज़ वगैरह हैं उसमें वो एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट करें, तो इस काम में हमें हेल्प कर सकते हैं। और इसमें भी वैसे भी कहा गया है, हमारी एनईपी में भी इस चीज़ का प्रोविज़न है कि जो हमारे कम्युनिटी है उससे हमारा कनेक्शन जो हो वो ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग हो। तो इस कनेक्शन को स्ट्रॉन्ग करना इस पार्ट के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है। बाकी अगर हम बात करें दूसरे पॉइंट की, कि जो हमारे केंद्र और राज्य सरकार के सहयोग से शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में जीडीपी को मतलब 6% हिस्से का सार्वजनिक व्यय करने का लक्ष्य है हमारे इसमें एनईपी 2020 में कहा गया है। तो हमारी केंद्र सरकार और राज्य सरकार तो हमारा एक्सपेंडिचर का अपना जो भी उनका प्लान है वो तो करेगी ही, लेकिन हम जानते हैं कि एक सीएसआर का भी एक पैटर्न होता है हमारे मतलब सिटीज़ में, जो लोग अलाउ करते हैं कि वो आके स्कूलों में डोनेट करते हैं कुछ चीज़ें। कम्युनिटी को के लोगों से हम मतलब एलुमनाई जो हमारे होते हैं बेसिकली अच्छे पोस्ट पे जो हमारे पढ़े हुए पहले स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उनसे सहयोग लेके उनके विश्वास के माध्यम से हम अपने स्कूलों में बहुत सारी चीज़ों को करते हैं। जैसा कि मैंने भी अपने स्कूल में किया हुआ है, बहुत सारा एक क्लब वगैरह जो हमारे यहाँ चलते हैं, एनजीओज़ हैं, उनके थ्रू हम अप्रोच करके और उनसे बातचीत, फ्रेंडशिप जो भी हमारी अपनी बिहाफ होते हैं, उनके बेसिस पे हमने स्कूलों में लगभग 40 लाख रुपए के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे और एमिनिटीज़ पे और बहुत सारे मतलब बच्चों के लिए जो एक्टिविटीज़ वगैरह भी वो समय-समय पे आके मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ मनी से, वो अपने लेबर से भी और अपने टैलेंट से भी बच्चों को बेनिफिट देते रहते हैं। और इसमें हमारी एनईपी 2020 में भी रोल मॉडल सेशन की बात कही गई है कि वोकेशनल एजुकेशन के लिए हम डिफरेंट फील्ड के लोगों को इनवाइट करें अपने स्कूलों में, जिससे कि हमारे बच्चों को ये ना लगे कि ये सब बस किताबी बातें हैं और अच्छे-अच्छे जो उदाहरण होते हैं वो सब किताबों में मिलते हैं। अपने सामने देख के किसी अच्छे व्यक्ति को या किसी अच्छे पोस्ट पे काम कर रहे किसी आइडियल व्यक्ति को देख कर के उसको रियलाइज़ करना बच्चों के लिए ज़्यादा ईज़ी होता है। तो इसमें भी एक कम्युनिटी का रोल है, कि जो हमारे स्किल्ड पर्सन हैं, जो हमारे नोन लोग हैं, आस-पास के लोग हैं जिनके पास कुछ टैलेंट है, उनको हम स्कूलों में इनवाइट करें। इससे हमारे स्कूलों में बच्चों से उनका कनेक्शन भी बढ़ेगा और प्लस हम भी उनसे मिलकर उनका भी स्कूलों की एक्टिविटीज़ को देख के, चूँकि हम जब उन्हें ऑनर देंगे, उन्हें सम्मान देंगे, रिस्पेक्ट करेंगे, वो हमारे स्कूलों से जुड़ेंगे, तो कहीं न कहीं ये हमारे लिए और हमारे स्कूल के लिए भी अच्छी बात होगी और उनके लिए भी एक सोसाइटी को मतलब जो हम देते हैं वही हमें वापस मिलता है, ये तो सभी जानते हैं। तो अगर हम रिस्पेक्ट देंगे अपनी कम्युनिटी को और सोसाइटी को, तो हमें भी स्कूलों के प्रति उनका भी विश्वास बढ़ेगा और वो इन्वॉल्व होंगे। तो इन्वॉल्वमेंट इज़ बेसिकली द नीड ऑफ सोसाइटी, कि वो अगर हम अपने स्कूलों से उनका कनेक्शन अच्छा करते हैं, तो ये काम हम बहुत आसानी से कर सकते हैं। तो रोल मॉडल सेशन की भी बात जो इसमें कही गई है, उस पे भी हम कहीं न कहीं अपने लक्ष्य को प्राप्त कर सकेंगे। प्लस ये 10+2 को 5+3+3 4 करने की जो बात कही जा रही है, इसमें पहले 6 से 14 साल के बच्चों की बातें होती थी, लेकिन अब एनईपी 2020 में हम 3 साल के बच्चों को लेके चल रहे हैं। तो आप सभी जानते हैं कि 3 साल के बच्चे को स्कूल में टीच करना, सारी कुछ चीज़ें मतलब बेसिक से लेके बताना, थोड़ा एक मतलब टाइम टेकिंग जॉब होता है और हम वो दिन भर नहीं करते, सिर्फ हमारे पास बच्चा 6 आवर्स होता है। तो इसमें हमें कम्युनिटी की, सोसाइटी की नीड होगी कि वो इस चीज़ की आवश्यकता को समझें और घर पे भी बच्चे को स्कूल की बातें ही मतलब थोड़ी बहुत बताते रहें। कुछ नहीं कर सकते तो एटलीस्ट उनसे इतना तो कह सकते हैं, मतलब उनका रोल उसमें बहुत ज़रूरी है कि वो बच्चे को पॉलिश करें थोड़ा, और समय से स्कूल भेजना ये तो डेफिनेटली उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, और हम लोगों के यहाँ स्कूल तक लेके आए, पहुंचाएं, ये सब चीजें हैं। तो इसमें हमारी सोसाइटी की हमें बहुत जरूरत पड़ेगी, क्योंकि हम बेसिकली हम स्कूल में बच्चों की मदद तो है ही, अब टीचर्स बहुत ज्यादा प्यार करते हैं बच्चों को, बट जो पेरेंटल केयर है और जो पैटर्न मतलब घर की तरफ से उनको मिलना चाहिए सपोर्ट, वो बहुत जरूरी होता है। 3 साल के बच्चे को स्कूल भेजने के लिए जो झील चाहिए वो घर वालों के से ही उसको मिलती है। तो एक ये भी हमारी जो इसमें है एनईपी 2020 की प्रोविजन कि हाँ, जो उन्हें प्री प्राइमरी की जो ट्रेनिंग देनी है फाउंडेशनल स्टेज पे, उसमें सोसाइटी का रोल बहुत जरूरी होगा। फिर हमारे एक एनईपी 2020 में ये भी कहा गया है कि भाषाई विविधता का संरक्षण, यानी कि 3 लैंग्वेज जो फॉर्मूला अप्लाई करने की बात है, उसमें कहीं न कहीं बेसिकली हम अगर अपनी बात करें, तो जैसे हमें हिंदी और इंग्लिश में हम कंफर्टेबल हैं, हम पढ़ा सकते हैं स्कूल में। लेकिन अगर हम बच्चों की भाषा नहीं जानते, तो हम उनसे कैसे कनेक्ट करेंगे? तो कहीं न कहीं इसके लिए भी हमें सोसाइटी से कनेक्शन ज़रूरी है, उनकी भाषा को जानने के लिए उनके बीच में कन्वर्सेशन ज़रूरी है कि हम जानें कि हाँ, बेसिकली बच्चे अपने घर में किस तरह की बातें या किस तरह की लैंग्वेजेज़ का यूज़ करते हैं, तो इसमें हमें सोसाइटी का रोल इम्पोर्टेंट लगता है। कुछ हमारे युवा जो हैं, वो कुछ समय के लिए आके हमें भोजपुरी सिखा सकते हैं, अगर ऐसा हम उनसे कह सकें कि ठीक है, मुझे नहीं आती है, आप मुझे स्कूल में हमारे आके कुछ कन्वर्सेशन हम करें, जिससे हम कि आपसे कनेक्ट हो सकें। तो यहाँ पे हमारे सोसाइटी का रोल इम्पोर्टेंट है कि 3 लैंग्वेज में वो लोकल लैंग्वेज में हमें हेल्प आउट कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा हमारे पास जो है एक बात थी कि वोकेशनल एजुकेशन पे एनईपी 2020 का बहुत ज़्यादा स्किल्ड एजुकेशन पे इसका बहुत ज़्यादा एम्फसाइज़ किया गया है इसमें। तो वोकेशनल एजुकेशन के लिए हमारे स्कूलों में अभी तो कोई फिलहाल ऐसा मतलब स्किल के लिए कोई ट्रेनर या फिर कोई इस तरह के टीचर्स नहीं हैं। लेकिन हम उनके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं कि युवाओं को जो हमारे अभी पढ़ रहे हैं, वो एज़ ए लीडरशिप उनकी इंक्रीज़ करने के उद्देश्य से उनको स्कूलों से जोड़ सकते हैं। जैसा कि हमारे बनारस के बहुत सारे स्कूलों में अभी भी ये चीज़ हो रही है। आईआईटी से कुछ स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं, वो बच्चों को कुछ एक्टिविटीज़ हैं, कुछ पढ़ना-लिखना है या कुछ पेंटिंग बहुत सारे फैकल्टी ऑफ परफॉर्मिंग और आर्ट्स के स्टूडेंट आते हैं, पेंटिंग से जुड़ी चीज़ें सिखाते हैं बच्चों को। तो ये एक तरह से वोकेशनल एजुकेशन में उनकी तरफ से हेल्प होती है हमारे स्कूल में, और हम बहुत मतलब उस चीज़ के लिए ये एप्रिशिएट करते हैं, उनको एक लीडरशिप क्वालिटी देते हैं कि आप जो है स्कूल में हमारे आ रहे हैं, बच्चों से कनेक्ट हो रहे हैं, तो ये बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है, और एक ईज़ी वे में ये चीज़ें हो पाती हैं, क्योंकि एक बंदा हर चीज़ में ट्रेंड हो ज़रूरी नहीं है। और हो सकता है कि एनईपी 2020 लागू होने के बाद इस तरह के कुछ एक्सपर्ट्स हमारे स्कूलों में भी अपॉइंट किए जाएँ। बट अभी की प्रेज़ेंट सिचुएशन में हमारी सोसाइटी का रोल इसमें बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि उनसे उन्हीं से हमें इस चीज़ में हेल्प मिलनी है कि अगर हमें पॉटरी नहीं आती है, तो हम पॉटरी के लिए किसी स्टूडेंट या फिर किसी युवा को जो हमारे गाँव का ही शिक्षित या उसे ये कला आती हो, तो उसको इनवाइट करके हम स्कूल से जोड़ सकते हैं। तो ये हमारा सोसाइटी के साथ एक कनेक्शन बनाने का माध्यम हो सकता है। प्लस पाठ्यक्रम और मूल्यांकन की भी बात की गई है। परख और नैक जैसे जहाँ राष्ट्रीय स्तर के आकलन केंद्र बनेंगे, वो तो एक बहुत ही वृहद स्तर का कार्यक्रम होगा। लेकिन मेरा अपना खुद का मानना ये है कि अगर हमारे यहाँ इवैल्यूएशन का मतलब जो बेस है, वो टीचर्स अगर खुद के लेवल पे कर रहे हैं, देन इट्स गुड। लेकिन अगर पेरेंट्स उसमें इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, मतलब अगर अपने बच्चों के इवैल्यूएशन में इंटरेस्ट लेते हैं, उसको ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, प्लस फीडबैक देते हैं, तो ये हमारे लिए सबसे ज़्यादा अच्छा एक आकलन का तरीका होता है कि पेरेंट्स आर गेटिंग इन्वॉल्व्ड और सोसाइटी का उसको हमें एक मिल रही है कि वो हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं और हमें रियल फीडबैक मिलती है वो, क्योंकि नंबर्स हमें वो चीज़ें नहीं बता सकते जो पेरेंट्स हमें बता सकते हैं कि हाँ, हमारा बच्चा अच्छा कर रहा है एंड वी आर फीलिंग गुड कि इसके स्कूल में हमारी उसकी अच्छी शिक्षा से हमें सरोकार हो पा रहा है। तो ये हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छा फीडबैक होता है। तो आकलन का हम मेरे हिसाब से जो हमारा बेस्ट रिसोर्स है वो सोसाइटी है। तो इसमें हमें उनसे हेल्प मिल सकती है। स्पेशल एजुकेशन में भई हम रिकॉग्नाइज़ नहीं कर पाते हैं, कभी-कभी स्पेशल नीड वाले जो चीज़ें हैं बच्चों की, तो पेरेंट्स हमें कम्युनिकेट करते हैं कि ये हमारे बच्चे के साथ ये प्रॉब्लम है, देन हम उसको सॉर्ट आउट करने की कोशिश करते हैं। तो सोसाइटी में बहुत सारे रोल मॉडल हैं, बहुत सारे लोग हैं, बहुत सारा विश्वास है, बहुत सारा प्रेम है, लेकिन उसको हमें कैसे अचीव करना है, ये हमारी ओनरशिप हमारे अपने इंडिविजुअल पे डिपेंड करता है। तो आज यहाँ पे जितने सारे स्टूडेंट्स हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं, बेसिकली स्कूलों कॉलेजेस के जो भी बच्चे हैं यहाँ पे, तो मैं उनको ये कहना चाहती हूँ कि इंडिविजुअली आप खुद के एफर्ट्स को सामने लाएँ। अपने स्कूलों की एक अच्छी सकारात्मक छवि प्रदर्शित करें, जिससे जो वहाँ पे जो सोसाइटी है उसमें एक एकदम पॉजिटिव फीडबैक या पॉजिटिव मैसेज जाए कि नहीं, जो एक इमेज ब्रेकिंग और मेकिंग वाली बात है कि सरकारी व्यवस्था को लोग पॉजिटिवली देखें, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है। मेरा यही मानना है कि बहुत सारे लोग बहुत सारा अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, जैसे कि मैंने अभी यहाँ पे देखा साजिद सर ने और हमारी मैम ने, सुधा मैम ने बहुत अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन दिया और बातें अपनी बताई। मुझे भी मौका मिला इन लोगों के बारे में जानने का, सुनने का कि लोग कितना अच्छा कहाँ-कहाँ कर रहे हैं। बहुत दूर-दूर तक सरकारी स्कूलों की बहुत अच्छी इमेज है, लेकिन वो सिर्फ हम लोग एक-दूसरे के कामों को जानते हैं और एप्रिशिएट भी करते हैं। तो सबके दिलों में वो चीज़ आए और लोग उसको पॉजिटिवली देखें, तो मेरी ये हार्दिक मतलब तमन्ना कह सकते हैं। तो और आंगनबाड़ी में भी हमारे जो आजकल टीचर्स के लिए अच्छा होगा भी। एमपी 2020 का जो एम है, उसको अचीव हम लोगों ने करने का प्रयास पहले से ही शुरू कर रखा है और ये जो सरकारी स्कूल जैसी संस्था है, हेमलता जी हैं, माला जी हैं, तो इन लोगों के जरिए, अभिषेक जी के जरिए जो सरकारी स्कूल 2-3 संस्था है, ये लोग भी एक बहुत ही इमेज मेकिंग का काम कर रहे हैं हमारे। और मैं स्पेशली आज यहाँ पे आके बहुत अच्छा महसूस करी, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ बिग चेंज कि आप जैसे बड़े-बड़े यूनिवर्सिटी के लोगों के बीच में किसी स्कूल टीचर को इनवाइट किया गया है, तो इट्स ओवरवेलमिंग थिंग फॉर मी। तो मुझे बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है और मैं बहुत सारा थैंक यू, अ लॉट ऑफ थैंक्स सबको यहाँ पे देना चाहती हूँ, जिन लोगों ने हमें भी यहाँ पे जोड़ा है। और ये भी एक एनईपी 2020 का हिस्सा है कि आप उन्होंने भी ये सारे एक ही गुलदस्ते में सारे फूलों को रखने की बात, जैसे कि हमारे अभी स्पीकर आए थे उन्होंने कही थी, वो यहाँ पे हो रही है कि एक बुके में हम सब हैं, तो प्यारे-प्यारे फूल गुथे माला में एक हैं, हिंद देश के निवासी हम सब एक हैं। थैंक यू सो मच। अच्छा लगा मुझे यहाँ आके और अपनी बातें रख के। आई होप आप लोगों को मेरी बातों से कुछ चीज़ें समझ आई होंगी। तो ऐसे ही हम सब जुड़े रहें और एक-दूसरे को सुनते रहें, इसी आशा के साथ। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू सो मच मिस छवि। आपने बहुत ही बेहतरीन तरीके से बताया कि किस तरीके से हम कम्युनिटी को इन्वॉल्व कर सकते हैं और एनईपी के हर एस्पेक्ट से आपने उसको इंगेज करने की कोशिश की। थैंक यू सो मच। आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट आवर स्टूडेंट्स, अगर आप लोगों के कोई सवाल है, अगर आप लोगों की कोई क्वेरी है या कुछ और आप लोग अपने पैनलिस्ट से जानना चाहते हैं, तो प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ एंड यू कैन आस्क डायरेक्टली और यू कैन राइट इन द चैट बॉक्स।
कोई कुछ नहीं पूछ रहा है, तो मैं सुधा जी से पूछना चाहती थी
जी,
कि
जी।
कैसे कर लेते हैं साजी सर से कि आप लोग इतना सारा अच्छा-अच्छा काम कैसे मतलब कर लेते हैं? बेसिकली मैं सुन रही थी आप लोगों को शुरू से ही।
छवि जी, बड़ा अच्छा लगा आपसे की बातें सुन के, और अगर आपने पूछा है तो मैं निराश नहीं करूंगी आपको। एक अंदर से एक ज़ील, एंथुसियाज्म, और थोड़ा सा जैसे हम रेजिडेंशियल सेटअप में है, सरकारी बच्चों से अंडर प्रिविलेज्ड बच्चों के साथ है, तो एक मिशनरी जील का होना थोड़ा सा जरूरी है, लिटिल बिट मोर डेडिकेशन। एंड आई बिलीव इन पर्सनली कि अगर हम इन बच्चों को, जिन माँ बाप ने बड़े भरोसे के साथ 7 साल के लिए हमारे हवाले कर देते हैं, बच्चे एक बहुत ही जो सोफिस्टिकेटेड डेलिकेट टाइम पीरियड ऑफ वंस लाइफ होता है, टीन एज, जिसमें हम बच्चे को किसी भी तरफ ढाल सकते हैं, तो उनकी आशाएं जो हमारे ऊपर हैं उनको पूरा करना अगर हम पूरे ऑनेस्टली और फुल डेडिकेशन के साथ करते हैं, तो ईश्वर भी हमको अच्छी राह दिखाता है। हमारे जो प्रयास हैं, जो एफर्ट्स हैं, वो सक्सेसफुल होते हैं।
थैंक यू सो मच। नमन मैम, नमन।
आई थिंक यस, दीपा मैम। दीपा मैम?
नहीं, बस मैं वाइंड अप कह रही थी। I just wanted
Okay.
to propose the vote of thanks.
Yes,
I want
ma'am.
to thank my co-convener हेमलता मैम, जिन्होंने सब कुछ I think इतने अच्छे से organize किया. She has been the torch bearer. उन्होंने वो ये mission start किया and we've been able to successfully do this event. I think it's all because of her. Charu ma'am, all my student volunteers, Savi, Charu, Saroj, Sujata, Arshi, Smriti, Arzu, all of them have done such a wonderful job with the technical group, helping with the poster, the certificates, and so many discussions we have had on how to make it live on various platforms. And I really want to thank the best part, Abhishek ji, who has been so inspiring to help us put this event together, because unke bagair hum ye event kar hi nahi pate, because this was something we really wanted to do, ek practical touch lana chahte the students ke liye, because ultimately hamare mostly students government school sector mein hi jate hain job karne, और उनके लिए जानना कि स्कूल में प्रैक्टिकली क्या हो रहा है वो भी बहुत जरूरी है। तो इसीलिए इस हमने सेशंस को ऐसे सोचकर रखा था, एंड इट्स बीन रियली वंडरफुल। अभिषेक जी, आई वांट टू थैंक यू फ्रॉम माय होल हार्ट। इट्स बीन रियली वंडरफुल हैविंग दिस एसोसिएशन विथ यू, and I hope we continue with this. Thank you the principal Sadhna ji, she has been so inspiring and motivating, और उन्होंने हमें कहा कि आप नहीं ये करो, मैं जरूर कोशिश करूंगी इस प्रोग्राम को ज्वाइन करने के लिए। वीना मैम, who's been at the end moment, I approached her कि मैम नहीं ज्वाइन कर पाएंगी, शायद थोड़ी देर में करेंगी, आप प्लीज थोड़ी देर के लिए आइए। So I think it's been really wonderful to have all these people together and being so many good panelists, Pankaj ji, Amrut ji, or Saroj ma'am. So I really want to thank and best all our students. बिना आपके तो हम ये program कर ही नहीं पाते, and we've had such an overwhelming response to our Google Meet, to our Facebook page, and to the YouTube link. And I thank you all for being part of this wonderful, wonderful webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I think exit कर सकते हैं हम लोग.
Yes, ma'am.
You can
Yes,
join
ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Girls join कर सकते हैं आप अपनी classes को.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.